Well, they don't do that anymore, dude. They don't
and it wasn't like a remake of Thriller, like the song. They just did the video. You know?
I'd be interested to hear a music video or see a music video made like the way Michael Jackson and them were making them back in the day. Because I feel like when he was doing those videos, like every video was like a short film.
Yeah, it was a movie.
And now I don't feel like what's some like the most prolific music video recently? Like in terms of like just crazy amazing music video. I can't even think of one. Like Lil Nas X got a little hype, but that was just like shock value shit. Just because it was like twerking on the devil and shit.
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, there's definitely like high budget music videos now, but like, I can't really even think of one that would be like, it's fucking like wow.
There's high budget,
like
but
a
I feel like
movie.
all the budget is for like paying like to rent dope ass cars and like models and shit and like get a villa
honestly,
in Miami.
You know what? The music video for the fucking Young Thug Chris Brown song.
Okay.
They like go into like a saloon to watch some shit, and then there's like a big shootout. Like,
Okay.
I think that was a pretty like
Is that the recent
one?
Yeah.
It wasn't Go Crazy. It was the other one they did. Go Crazy was like them at like a mansion dancing and shit with a bunch of women, but I forget what the other one was. I think maybe Gunna was in it too, but maybe he's just in the video.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Maybe they just decided it's not worth it anymore. Like, because stuff doesn't stick around as long. So they will drop all this money and like put all this effort in making this dope ass music video, and it's like people are gonna stop talking about it in like 2 weeks, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are definitely some artists that still try to do it. Like, you know, like Kanye did all that shit when like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy came out.
Yes.
Like he did like the long ass runaway thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think, you know, that wasn't like the label being like, you should do this. That was him being like, no, I want to do a fucking movie for this.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are probably still artists that do that, but it's never like how it was back then, where like that was part of the song itself, like the video. Like people would watch videos back then.
Yeah.
Videos now, it's like, yeah, it's cool to have a video when the song comes out. It's like another avenue for people to listen to it or like be introduced to it, but they don't have as much impact, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm like scared to do a music video. Like, not scared, but I'm hesitant to do a music video with the band until it's just like I know it's going to be cool. Like, I don't want to I feel like the days of just making a music video for the sake of making a video are kind of like are we really just going to take a music video of us like playing the song while the shit happens?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, it's hard
maybe.
because like the songs that blow up because they're music videos now, it's not because the music video is like a fucking sick video. It's because it's like, okay, this could be a meme or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they're like clippable or shareable like things in the video
yeah.
that go viral, and then the song is like an afterthought.
That's the other thing that like, okay, so when you upload a song, we go through TuneCore as our publisher.
Yeah.
And so when we submit the song on TuneCore, they then submit it to like all the streaming services like Spotify, Pandora, all this shit. And one of the things you have to select for is you have to pick a minute clip out of the song to be used for TikTok videos.
Yeah, yeah.
And so every song we put up, I have to like sit there and be like, which part of this could be
a
memeable?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Is that a thing you have to think about now?
That's like such a lame thought you have to have.
I know, like what
but
part
also
of
it's
this?
like part of it.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, I mean, now I find myself like the problem that I have with it, I don't have a problem with it, but like, okay, so for instance, like the two songs my brother showed me last week, good songs, they're both like 2.5 minutes long or like less. I think one's like barely 2 minutes. And
Yeah,
he's
a lot
like,
of songs are super short now.
yeah, because they're all trying to capitalize on like maximum streams. Because the more streams you get, the more like pass through streams, click through streams you get, the more you show up in the algorithm. So everybody's kind of writing music for the algorithm, which kind of, you know, I feel like the days of writing music to make it like, I'm not saying nobody's doing it. There are definitely artists that are writing music for like the timeless factor. But there's so many songs that are being put out on like a weekly basis that are just strictly being made to like be popular for a week and get their clout up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you're writing a song that's 2 minutes, just so you can like play the algorithm. It's like, damn, dude. You know? I don't know. It's just now I think with the TikTok thing, it's like now every artist is sitting in the back of their mind thinking like, well, what part of this song is memeable? And it's like, should you memeable, bro? How about memorable?
Yeah.
How about memorable, dude?
How about it?
I don't know, dude. Speaking of memorable, live from the studio, I'm Jimmy Selesky,
I'm Eric Glazer.
and we're coming off a couple Beach Boys, baby.
Yeah.
Beach Boys. I'm rocking the merch. I could have let you rock the camo shirt, dude, if you wanted. I have it in my car.
No, I'm good.
But you're wearing the Pride Month shirt going over there, dude.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Close enough, dude. Close enough. They got the hat. I'm going with the TJ from Recess look, dude.
Yeah.
I like it. You went for it, but then we decided it was
Yeah,
you were
no.
You got the Cynthia from Rugrats look
Yeah.
going.
My hair does not flow like yours does.
This is actually, I was heavily considering getting a haircut all week, and then I put this hat on and did this little flip thing, and I'm like, dude, I think I could just coast like this for another like 3 months, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a new look. I don't know if I'd go out in public like this yet. I would broadcast it to the public.
Yeah, just the hair thing.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like the older I get, the more unwilling I am to take style risks. I have like 3 looks,
Yeah.
and I feel like anytime you just take a step out and go for it, it's like people are like, dude, you're aren't you like about to be 29? Just stick with what you know, dude.
I mean, I think like if you're worried about that, then you probably should just try it. Because like your hair is gonna grow out eventually to be able to do that again.
Yes.
Like what you're doing right now. Like it's not, you don't have like fucking down to your fucking ball
Yeah.
like big ponytail. Like
Yeah, that'd be
you're not
stupid.
giving up something like that.
Yeah.
Is there a big ass beetle on the table?
There's probably
Hell
a big
yeah.
ass beetle, dude.
Yeah, it
I
is.
will say the other
Munching on something.
unspoken reality of becoming a hat guy when you're in your late 20s, early 30s is that's at the age where people start thinking you're a hat guy because you're balding. Like people start like, oh, this guy's a hat guy because he's probably balding.
Yeah, but then you can shock them every time you take the hat off.
Yeah, or you can rock this thing, dude. This is like my not balding flag. This is like, hey, dude.
Nah, it's
I
still
just wanna
going
let
strong,
you
baby.
know, I got hair. Don't
Yeah.
get anything
Oh,
twisted,
shit. I
dude.
just got attacked, bro.
Oh yeah, you know what?
Attacked.
That is you're not even gonna like this. You are not gonna like this,
No,
dude.
what is it?
I used to call those studio bugs forever,
Yeah.
and I still do because I don't like their real name. Because you know
What
what their
is
real
their
name
real
is?
name?
An American cockroach.
Oh no.
That is a fucking cockroach, dude. It's not
No.
like the creepy like coffin cockroach, like the Halloween cockroach that crawls
No.
around. But I feel like flying cockroach is a little bit of a diss from nature. It's like
Also, it definitely just looks like a beetle.
yeah, but it does cockroach things. Like it hits you.
Yeah.
It hits you.
It fucking dive bombs you.
It's like, dude, why are you doing that?
damn.
I've put it in my mind that all I have to do is hit one and they'll all take note.
Ooh.
Like they're like, I know there's probably
Maybe that's why they keep hitting us, because they're taking note. They're like, these guys fucking
these guys
hit
are
us.
pussies, dude.
These guys smack the fuck out of us.
No, dude. No, because I haven't managed to get one yet. They're too fast. American
keep
cockroaches
multiplying.
are too fast, bro.
Damn.
They suck, dude. I hate cockroaches, especially
Saw two for a
ones that
second.
fly.
Oh, one's dive bombing you in a second.
Well, honestly, I don't mind cockroaches as far as pests go. Oh,
it's
now it's
getting
on the
on
camera,
camera,
dude.
It's fucking put me out of focus and shit.
Just turn the knob, dude. Damn. Get off of there, bro. That really is a pesty move, dude.
Damn.
These are pests.
They're pests.
I've never seen a mouse fuck with our camera angle before.
No, what the fuck?
Speaking of mice, I saw we have gone on every possible topic other than covering the beach. But speaking of mice, speaking of pests,
Speaking of more important things,
dude,
pests.
I was in my room
In your
and
apartment.
in my apartment, and I have like in the corner of my room, I have a TV mounted on the wall, like the coolest thing I've ever done. And there's a cord running down into the socket, and Liv sits up and she looks at the thing and she's like, "Bro," she hit me with the bro. Which
shit.
I don't like, dude. I don't like when girls call me bro. I'm like, hey, that's our word.
I think it's funny.
I don't actually care. I just caught me off guard. I was like, what, bro? What, bro? And she's like, "What the? Are my eyes deceiving me?" She didn't say that, but that's what it.
That was a
it
gist.
was. Yeah, it was a gist. And I look, and there's a fucking mouse rappelling down my fucking electrical cord. I'm like, dude, he was like, I was like, dude, what were you doing up there? He was in
what
my
the
TV
fuck?
and then just climbed down. I never have mice in my apartment. Like, I never see a mouse.
It came from like the hole in the ceiling for the cable or something.
Nah,
Or-
dude. Because there's no hole in the ceiling.
Wait, what?
Because there's no cable plug in there.
How did it get up there then?
He climbed. I guess he climbed up.
On the cable all the way up to the TV.
Yeah, it's like, dude, did you think there was gonna be something up there? Just because I'm watching the Food Network, bro, you thought you were gonna come up there and fucking get some cake out of the TV, dude?
Holy shit!
No, dude, if I could do that, I would do that, bro.
Oh my God,
stupid
that was a
fucking
smart
mouse.
mouse.
Yeah, dude, he was like, "Ooh, that looks good." I'm getting up there. Gets up there, just a fucking black box. He's like, "Damn, I'm coming back down."
Holy shit!
And what sucks is like my hamper. What do you call the clothes basket, by the way? It's another hot.
I think a hamper is fine. I can't think of anything else. I usually just throw my clothes on the floor.
I call it the carpet.
Yeah. I have a hamper that's full all the time.
Yeah.
And then the clothes that I wear and wash go on the floor.
I call it a hamper too, but I feel like the word hamper sounds so white trash that I try to stop myself from saying it.
Hamper.
Put it in the
it sounds
hamper.
Weird.
Like
like a laundry basket.
laundry basket, clothes basket. The Greek word is staplita, which sounds just too much. It's like put in the
Yeah,
staplita.
that'd be
It's like,
weird.
dude,
to
what are you
say
doing?
that,
Why are you saying
on
that?
the day to day?
Yeah, stop saying staplita. But like hamper, it's like one of those words. It's like, really, we don't have a less white trash word for this. Could somebody please?
Clothes hamper.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean, it's a thing, isn't it? Or
It's-
is it like a colloquialism?
I
If that's how
think
you
it's
say
the
that
word for it.
Yeah, I think it's a thing.
Yeah,
But I think maybe like the Baltimore accent adds a little twang on it.
humpa. Put in the humpa.
Can you throw it in the humpa?
I think anything with the ER
hamper?
kind of makes it.
Yeah, hamper does sound. Like,
Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking redneck's kid's name.
Yeah, hamper.
Get over here, hamper.
It sounds like a Appalachian like slang term for it because okay, so like my aunt calls the remote control a clicker.
Clicker.
Which
Yeah,
I
that's
think-
just like an old person thing because the remotes used to actually click.
Yeah, but I think it sounds white trash. So I call it the remote control or the remote.
Yeah.
Pass me the remote. I would never say pass me the clicker.
Mm-hmm.
But God has blessed us with a better word for the clicker, which is a remote. But
Yeah.
the hamper doesn't have one, so you're stuck sounding white trash at all times.
Yeah, but at least you're not a person that calls soda pop.
Well, that's a
the
regional
worst.
thing. That's
the
Midwest.
worst,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Sounds so lame.
Or calling pizza a pie. Do you ever do that?
Not really.
Call pizza a pie. All pesty stuff. But anyway,
Anyway, what's other stuff we can talk about except, other than the beach trip?
all these other less important things that happened over the course of the week. Folks, we stopped down to Fishtails in Ocean City, Maryland to present them with the bronze bucket and the bracket. And I got to say, dude, I was stressed to the max leading up to that because I wasn't sure how that bucket was going to turn out, dude. I didn't know how decals work.
Oh my God, you just got dive bombed.
Dude, fuck these things, bro.
It just went straight for the center of your forehead.
He was making fun of my flop, dude. He's like, dude, that's not your look. Put it away. Put it away. Got your hat. No, I was stressed out because I was like, I didn't know how it was going to work. I got spray paint. I don't know why I was so stressed about spray painting a bucket.
Yeah.
Like, in theory, you'd think like, okay, dude, just get the bucket and then spray paint it.
God damn it.
Oh, you almost got it that
I
time.
whiffed it.
Oh! Oh!
That's Dunzo.
Dude, fuck yeah, bro. Send that motherfucker a message.
Oh, it's still up.
You TKO him?
No, I'm gonna fucking. Oh, it's on your business card. Perfect.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, fuck that thing.
Trying to fly away. I got it on its back.
Put him out there. Oh, dude. Out for the count. That was awesome. I'm so
Yeah,
glad you did
wanna
that.
know.
Because I don't know if we could have done this podcast with that thing flying around. It was going
That
to
was a
interrupt us.
nuisance.
Fucking straight up nuisance. So now that we can actually begin the podcast, I took it out back. I did it. I dropped it on the grass once, got a little fucked up in the back, and then Liv helped me with the decal. She was like, no, idiot. You put the sticker on, and then the front peels off. I thought I was going to have to personally cut around every letter. I was like, fuck this decal
Oh
company.
yeah, that would suck.
But it wound up looking awesome, dude. Now, granted, we
it
didn't
looked
do if you've listened to the podcast, you've probably heard all of our fucking grandiose ideas for the presentation. You probably heard us talk about inviting strippers, and DJ Khaled was going to host, and all
Max
these crazy
capacity.
Yeah. And turns out we just drove down there, got there an hour late. My logic was, you texted me the night before, and you said, looks like we might have to leave by 7. And I remember thinking, dude,
there's no way.
I'm not leaving by 7.
And also, me too, yeah. And then I was like, yeah, I might drive myself down because I want to leave early. Which, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think I left around like 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
And once we got like an hour out of Ocean City, it just like became standstill traffic for no reason.
And that is the reason why I don't go down there on those weekends. Like that was the first time I've ever been down there on Memorial Day or 4th of July.
Going down, like going through the bottom of Ocean City always sucks, but that's like the way you have to go if you want to get to Fishtails easy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what, 22nd Street or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
22nd Street Bayside.
Yeah. But it was like it was a 4.5 hour drive, and the drive home was miserable too. Not because of traffic, but I was just so like, I think I'm too old for day trips now. You know what I mean? Like
I didn't mind it honestly because it was like pretty easy cruising.
Yeah.
I fucking got like a coffee because we left at like 10:30 or something. We kind of left late.
We could have definitely. Now that I think about it, we could have driven together.
Yeah, I know.
We left at the same time.
Yeah, I know. That's literally like a half an hour to my trip back. I was like, we literally could have just driven together.
You know what's crazy? I didn't think about that until just now. I didn't think about the fact that we took 2 separate cars.
Well, I had grandiose plans of leaving early and but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So we get stuck in that traffic. We roll up a little late. I get there like maybe
30 minutes before me.
20. Okay, yeah, 30 minutes before Jimmy. And I'm just sitting in the parking lot for like 10 minutes, and then I hit you up to see where you're at. I'm like, fuck it, I need to pee so bad. I'm just going to go inside, sit at the bar, whatever. So I go in there, like, everything is packed except like the main bar inside. Like, it was completely empty for, I don't know why. I think everyone just wanted to be outside. It was nice.
Yeah.
So I like pull up a chair, start chatting everyone up,
Yeah.
Not really. Like, I do my version of chatting everyone up, which is like whenever,
Can I get a drink?
other people initiate stuff.
Yeah.
I'll spill everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I played it a little cool. I was like, hey, I'm here from Baltimore for the day. Just waiting for my friends to get down here. We're meeting up here, playing it chill.
Yeah.
Ask for a food menu, order some food, get a little drink, and then cue Jimmy walking in.
Oh yeah, dude. That was I walked in. Well, I had called you beforehand, and I think we made the right call.
Yeah.
About not doing the presentation. I think,
Yeah.
especially, I had a sense of it because, like,
especially after they're like, wait, were you guys serious that you want to actually
yeah,
do that?
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, but we don't have to.
yeah. When I was sitting in traffic, because I talked to her on the phone, and I spun a bunch of ideas by her, and like I wanted to like do something, like play some music, fucking do all I do is win after we present the trophy, some crazy shit.
Have tearaway clothing that reveal big shirts with LFTS logos on it.
Background dancers, fucking confetti. None of that shit came to fruition. But so we called the audible.
We did get the bucket and the bracket.
Yeah, we went down there. We took some pics, and like that was the move. I didn't want to like grab a microphone and like just a bunch of people just sitting there having lunch.
You hear me?
They're like,
People
dude, it's
trying
noon.
To order fish tacos.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like the moment they said we should do it at noon, I was like, I can already tell
Yeah,
this
they
is
don't
not.
want to do anything.
We need people to be drunk for this, dude.
Yeah,
We can't do this sober. People will only care about something they don't care about if they're drunk, dude. You can't get a bunch of sober families in there like, all I do is win, win, win. They're like, what is this song?
Yeah. Oh my god.
So we didn't do that, but it was a great experience, dude. They were serving us up fucking Corona with Deep Eddy's lime sidecars, dude. I got fastest food ever. Do yourself a favor. Next time you go to Fishtails during the day, order food. And if you can finish saying what you want before it gets to your table, Like, I mean, literally, I said fish and chips, and then I said something to you, and I looked down, and like, fish and chips. It's like, dude,
Yeah,
what?
It was insane.
It was almost, and I don't mean this in a bad way, it was almost sketchy.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that was almost too fast. Like, damn, dude. I must have walked in there like, get the fish and chips right. This guy.
This guy screams fish and chips.
It was really good, though, dude. It was really good. And I'm not even a fish and chips guy, dude. I went down there, I just got a sense of Britishness. I was like, I'm British now, dude. But we did it. We got a bunch of merch. And they tagged us. I don't know if you saw an LTS story, but they mounted it up.
I did.
Like, really nice. I want to know where it is. By the way, if anybody's listening, next time you're in Ocean City, stop in Fishtails. And I kind of wanted to make this snap be fun. Like, if you see the fucking bracket, just take a picture of yourself next to the bracket, tag us in it, dude. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
You know? And same thing if you find yourself in Backyard Towson, you know? See if you can find that bracket. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but if you find it, tag us.
Try to find that bracket. Try to find Jimmy. He might be there.
I might be there, dude. Walk up to me. Take a picture of me. Tag me. Post it to me. That'd be fun, dude. Yeah, so then we went to the beach. We got like a decent like that was my first trip to the beach of the whole summer.
Yeah.
Very, very like revitalizing. I was like,
nice.
oh, nice. This is great. Not the best beach day.
No.
Because it started raining heavily.
Very hard.
And then we went to Shenanigans after where they were I think they were a little pissed we didn't include them in the bracket, dude. They had
They're
a little bit
pulling a couple shenanigans on us.
Yeah, they did. I hit him with a classic joke, which isn't a classic joke at all. Almost not even really funny, but obviously a joke. She asked for your ID, and you gave her ID, and I was like, and I'm the same age as him, so you can probably just card him. And then she was like, that's not how life works. I was like, I know that. And then she was like, why are you so mad about getting carded? I was like, I'm not mad.
Well, she looked at your age and said, why are you so mad about being carded? Which is just a tell of how old she was.
But if it's any consolation, we're going to put him in next year for the qualifications. I'm going to do a 32. I'm going to do a 40-bar qualification for it because I think that will mediate any complaints we had from this year.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw Guido's Burritos down there, dude. I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it from the car, and I was like, no, I guess.
Maybe?
Like, is this in like an old buffet restaurant?
dude.
What is this?
I had plenty of time to get well acquainted with every bar between 0th Street and 30th Street because on the way up to fucking Ponzetti's, which was awesome.
Yeah, we went to the beach, got like a good hour in, got rained out to Shenanigans. After that, we tried walking back to our cars. Didn't realize how far we walked down.
Yeah, we were like, it's raining heavily. Let's walk as far away as possible from our cars and then have to walk back in torrential downpour. 10 streets. I think it was like 17 streets we had to walk.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was cool though. I mean, while I was walking,
fine.
it wasn't cool. I was like, this was dumb.
Yeah, but we all at least had like bathing suits on to an extent, and then we had the free gear from Fishtails, so I just switched out of my fucking wet t-shirt. I was fine. Yeah, so then we're like, all right, let's fucking end the night up at Ponzetti's. Let's get some pizza. Fucking dope.
So good.
We start heading up there. Traffic is standstill.
I mean, when I say
worse than when we came in.
When we say
And then it
standstill,
started
it was
like downpouring, so it got even worse. Yeah, it was bad.
See, I didn't know. You were giving me hope because you were texting me being like, yo, the traffic stops after here. And I was like, wow. But like literally it took an hour for 10 streets, I think. Something like literally an hour. Not like exaggerating an hour. An hour.
Because I think we were in that for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It took us 2 hours to get from Fishtails up to like 50th Street.
Yeah. And we were driving. I remember saying to Liv, I was like, I got to pee so bad. There's no fucking chance I'm making this.
Yeah.
And so
I see Jimmy like 3 cars behind me in the middle lane. Him and Liv jump out of the fucking car, play like Chinese fire drill. She gets in the driver's seat, and then I just see Jimmy bolt. I thought you were getting the passenger seat. I thought you just didn't want to fucking drive in that.
Yeah.
But then I see you bolt it to Sun fucking Stations. I thought you were going to get a hermit crab for a second.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit, I forgot the hermit crab. For fucking whoever it was for. For mothers, I think.
Yeah.
And then you just dip out.
Yeah, I had to run like almost all the way to the beach because it was so crowded.
I was run to the ocean to pee.
I was trying to find a place to pee, and I was like, the older you are, the less brazen you can be about peeing outside. I was like, I could get a sex offense charge if I find the wrong spot, dude. Like I'm about to be 29, dude. I can't just be pissing in public these days. So I like really had to find a spot. Thank God I ducked behind a dumpster. I'm sure somebody saw me, but like
it's the beach,
you know. And as I got there, I realized I had been away for like 5 minutes at that point, and I was like, I don't have a phone. I don't have anything, dude. Like, if by chance I can't find the car, I'm fucked. Like, what do I do? I don't have a wallet.
Yeah,
like,
you know, you got to get up to Ponzetti somehow. Honestly, if you had to have walked up there, you probably would have beat us.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. That's a possibility. I probably, yeah. I mean,
you probably could have like caught the bus at some point too.
Yeah, but I had no money.
I think it's free.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Or at least I've never paid for it.
Yeah, dude. But luckily, I ran back in the middle of traffic, and then I'm just in the middle of the median strip, just looking around. I'm like, I am such an idiot. I am so stupid, so stupid.
Yeah,
and it's
I
like,
see Jimmy 5 feet from my car, looking confused. And I'm like, oh yeah, he isn't in his car. I forgot. I'm like, hey. 3 cars back behind the blue car or whatever it was. And then you're like, oh my God. Because I don't even think you heard me for the first like 10 seconds.
You were like my guardian angel, dude. When I heard your voice, all I heard was, Jimmy, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, oh, thank God. Somebody knows me here. I mean, it could have been anybody. Like, there was like a billion people in that traffic. I was like, there probably somebody would be like, what the fuck is Jimmy doing, dude?
Yeah.
Thank God it was you. And I found the car, and then it was another like 30-40 minute drive up there. But that was that was an ill-advised move on my part. But we made it to Ponzetti's.
Turns out they had fucking traffic too.
Yeah, but honestly, like it
didn't take too long. They said it was going to take an hour, and like it was an hour on the dot. But also, like, that's not crazy for a restaurant.
Yeah, it's not crazy at all. Like our waitress was like so stressed. She's like, I swear the pizza's coming. I was like, I'm fine, man.
Yeah, it's okay.
But
we're hungry, but we're willing to wait.
Yeah, it was so good though. I'm so glad we went there because obviously Liv is from New Jersey, New York area. So she's like, oh, New York pizza, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, dude, have you had Ocean City pizza though? OC
something about the water.
Yeah, dude, they say that shit, dude.
The salt air.
This is a thing that I refuse to subscribe to, is this idea that when you talk to a New Yorker, they all say that shit. They're always like, oh, it's something in the water that makes the dough better. That's why, bagels and the pizza is so much better. I'm like, maybe, but also maybe not. Like, I don't know. Is that a provable theory? Like, I'm sure the water is different, but also, is that what we're going with? Of all the things that could make New York pizza better?
It's not that there's just like a higher population of Italian people there, or
whatever. Or like okay, put it this way: go to LA, get a slice of pizza. It sucks. I've never had good pizza in California, and I've only ever been to LA and California, so I've never had good pizza in Los Angeles.
I've had like one good pizza, but it was also like it wasn't traditional pizza. It was like all of their pizza had like spicy hot sauce or like spicy like tomato sauce for the base. So
the pizza in LA in general across the board, subpar. Does that have to do with the water, or are they just not as good at making pizza in
they're trying
LA?
to make like healthy pizza.
Yeah,
and that's never going to be good.
So if New York makes great pizza and LA makes shitty pizza, is it a possibility that maybe it's not just the water? Like, I think there's some good pizza spots in Maryland, Ponzetti's being one of them. I don't know if Ponzetti's using any type of special water. Ocean City water? I don't think so. There's plenty of pizza places in Ocean City that you'll get shitty pizza, dude.
Yeah.
Same water. I'm sure if I went up to New York and made a pizza in my apartment, wouldn't be that good, But I've heard about these guys that like there's this one guy in Maryland that like imports water from New York to make his bagels. And I'm like, all right, dude.
What?
Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I think that's like a little marketing gimmick, though.
Oh,
it's
for
like,
sure.
oh, we import the water from New York. That's where I'm from. I'm from New York.
Yeah, then they just go to the back and turn the tap on.
Yeah, how much does that cost you to fucking...
A post-it note on the tap that says NYC.
Yeah, this pipe runs directly from Manhattan. Remember the fuck... They make bagels, dude. I don't know. I if you're from New York, prove me wrong, but I just think that's one of those New York things. And like, I like New York as a city, and I think that you guys deserve to talk most of the shit you talk, because I really do agree that New
I'm
York
not
is the city
denying
in
that
America.
the place to get like good pizza consistently is New York. Same place to get good bagels consistently is New York. But yeah, that doesn't mean you can't get a good bagel here or a good pizza here.
I was taking it to an even better level. I think New York, just in general, across the board, is like just a generally doper city than most cities.
Oh yeah,
You know, and obviously we're biased being in Baltimore, where like we're gonna recognize the charm of Baltimore, and I do think that the one thing that Baltimore has that New York also has is the pride. There's a lot of places in the U.S. And I haven't personally experienced this because I feel like the only cities that I've really ever visited have been like prideful cities. Like when you go to New Orleans, they are so stoked to be from New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you go down there. I was in CVS and I was like doing something random. I was like, I don't even know what I did, but I was like, am I allowed to do this? And then some like old Cajun guy was like, yeah, you in New Orleans, baby. And I was like, okay. Like, I was just asking if I had to wear shoes in the CVS, I guess. But okay, I'm in New Orleans, baby. But like, so they're proud to be from New Orleans. And I love New Orleans, but I mean, I think Baltimore is a better city, I think, in general than New Orleans, I would say. Not across the board in every category, but I would rather live in the Baltimore metro than the New Orleans metro. No questions asked, dude. I'm not a big swamp guy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and most of the South
more
is
humid than Baltimore. Baltimore's humid as fuck.
See, I think any place can be good and a great place to live if that's what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see a lot of people that like grow up in these like middle of nowhere, like Nowheresville, Pennsylvania or something, that like they're stoked to be from there, you know? And I'd imagine like if you're from there and you know everybody, it's probably just as fun as if you know. Like, there's only so many people. This is the thing that gets me. There's only so many people you can know, and there's only so many places that you can like frequent. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
There's only so many bars you can be a regular at. There's only so many close friends that you can like link up with that you see out and just kind of like latch on and drink with them. So it's like, no matter what city you're in, whether it's the biggest city on the planet or some small town, your circle of friends is always the same size, I would say. You know, like if you live out in Western Maryland, you have like 10 close friends maybe. But if you live in New York, you probably still have like 10 close friends. Now you might have like way more acquaintances and way more people that you know of, but like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, like people that you just see when you go out, like, okay, great. You know, and I've kind of gotten to this point where it's like, when I think about maybe I want to move to another city or something like that, which, you know, every now and then I'll get this idea, like, wouldn't it be cool to just, because I always have this thing that I think about, which is like, I've only ever lived pretty much in my zip code.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've only, like, I think technically when I was living in Kenilworth, like off Kenilworth, that was a different, I think that was 21204 technically, but like for all intents and purposes, same zip code. So I think about that. I'm like, damn, I'll be 30 next year. And I've never lived anywhere but my hometown. And like, you see all these like tweets and shit like that where they're like, you know, like person that's never left their hometown, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I mean, but really, I don't necessarily see the need. I would say this, look, in the same way I said, there's only so many friends you can have, only so many bars you can go to. You can only live in one place. Like, you have to find a place to like call your home, unless you're like a trillionaire or a billionaire where you can have multiple residences in multiple cities and fly around and summer in summer in Malibu and spend your winters in New York or whatever, you know. But for the most part, if you're an average person, you got to pick one place and live there, you know. So from my standpoint, it's like, well, why wouldn't I just live here and then go and travel? No matter what you do, if I lived in New York, I'd still have to travel to go see anywhere else in the world. I still have to travel to go to Europe. I'd still have to travel. And if I lived in Europe, I'd still have to travel to go to New York or travel to go to California. So it's like, why wouldn't I just live here? You know what I mean? Live in Baltimore. That's where my family is. That's where my friends are. And then I can fucking go take trips whenever I want.
Yeah.
Do whatever. You know, I've never really agreed with that. And maybe my opinion would change if I did live somewhere else and be like, oh, this is a new experience. But from what I've gathered, like, I think so many people One second. Let me fix the gate on this, by the way. There we go. 1 second. 1 second. I remember when people were going to like, didn't sound like way different now.
Yeah.
Noticeably better.
Yeah, you don't get the outside noise as much.
Sorry about that, guys. You were hearing all the outside. Now you're hearing what it sounds like on the inside.
But I mean, also like the same person that's gonna post shit like that is like, all right, great. You're not a barista in Baltimore anymore. You're a barista in New York.
Exactly. Like people that like they went away to college and like I need to get the fuck out of Baltimore. And it's like, okay, you do understand that no matter where you go, like you had a shitty experience in high school socially or whateverly. I hate to say this, but I would venture to say it was maybe because of you. Like if you had shitty friends all through high school, it's like maybe that was you were doing, you know, like if you associated with shitty people. And what makes you think that just moving to another city,
you're still you.
Yeah, you're going to attract the same. There's shitty people in every city. It's not like you go to like, even when they talk about like the South and how polite it's like, okay, go to the South then. There's shitty people in the South.
Oh yeah.
And there's awesome people in the South. Mm-hmm. And if you're a shitty person, you're going to attract what you resonate, what you put out. So like you could move to any city on the planet, and if you don't fix yourself, you're not going to have fun. You know, so I feel like a lot of ways people have this like running away from themselves mentality where it's like, I got to get the hell out of here and move to a different city and start over. And it's like, okay, I can understand if you really fucked up in your current city. Like I don't even know what you have to do in this city to really fuck up. But you fucking go to somewhere else and now you've turned over a new leaf. Kind of like when I went to Towson University, like Towson High School, you know, I was a clown. You know, I was a clown, you know, and people knew me as a goofball. Girls didn't take me seriously. People, nobody ever thought of me as like, oh, that's a guy who like, you know, we can like not just laugh at. Then I went to Towson University and I was like, oh my God, only like 7 people from our high school went here. I can reinvent myself. Mm-hmm. Like I can just be me at 19.
Yeah.
And
also you finally hit puberty.
Well, that too.
Helped.
That too. It didn't help that like everybody all through high school knew me from the time I was like 11. You know, it's like, dude, that's not a good track record.
Yeah.
You know? So like now I was like, I can go to Towson University, and then I was able to like be like a smart guy, and like I was tutoring people, and like I still wasn't getting any ass, but I hadn't figured that out yet. But like I was different, you know, slightly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still clown my way back into the same social circle, you know? Like you can't run away from that, you know?
Yeah.
And now I'm an adult, and now my friends are comedians. So like, what do you want? You know? It's like you've been going your whole life, and so I don't know. My whole point is I'm never moving out of Towson. Ever. Nah,
don't even ask me.
Yeah. I might. It kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, like it depresses me to think that I might not. But also, if everything goes according to plan, then I should be able to take a bunch of trips, tour places, play music in different cities, do fucking podcasts in different cities. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
And then come back home to Towson and eat a Kathmandu at the end of the weekend, dude.
Yeah.
That's my life dream, dude.
Go to Towson Best, get called, hey, my friend.
Yeah.
How's it doing? How's your mom?
Yeah. It's like, what's wrong with that, dude?
Nothing.
Nothing's wrong with that, dude.
No.
If you don't have places that you can walk into, be like, hey, my friend, blah, 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 blah. That's on you, bro. And you're not going to have that in New York. You're not going to have that in Australia.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever. My point is that it's not just something in the water in these cities. I think that's what I'm really getting at, is that there's culture there. You know, there's culture in New York. And so much of the culture in New York is about their fucking food, their pizza, their bagels. The culture in Baltimore is much more seafood related, you know, crabs and crab related things, you know, Old Bay, stuff like that. But we have a lot of pride. I feel like there's a bunch of cities like, you know who I don't think has a lot of pride? LA. I think they have a lot of ego, but not a lot of pride.
No one's like from LA really.
Exactly.
Everyone who goes there still reps their city.
Yes. And that's kind of the other thing that bugs me about, it's kind of the same thing we talked about with music, how like one band does something or one artist, rapper, whatever, does something, has a certain sound, and everybody else is like, oh, that's the sound, and they try to copy it. It's like there's like New York, and then or LA, and then you go there and it's like 50% of the people are just people trying to be from LA or trying to be from New York. Like, this is where it's happening. I want to be a part of it, but it's like, dude, you're not. Like, you're just a bandwagoner, dude. Nobody really moves. I mean, people move to Baltimore, but nobody like is like sitting in Los Angeles and it's like, I'm moving to fucking Baltimore, baby. Big Apple.
You never know, bro.
I mean, like I said, I'm sure it happens, but like, there's probably way more expats in Los Angeles from Baltimore than I would imagine people that came from LA. I mean,
here.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So like, those cities have pride because you actually have depth, and it's like, yeah, my grandfather used to live on this street, and like, yeah, he was a firefighter, blah blah blah. You go to LA, and it's like, yeah, I'm from Michigan.
Yeah, they shot The Office in that warehouse over there.
Cool, dude. There's no culture. There's nothing to build on. It's just a bunch of people passing through trying to be a part of something. It's a city of posers.
City of Wave Rider City. And there's no waves, baby.
No waves, bro. You know where the waves are at, dude? The Bay.
Ooh.
Fucking Baltimore Harbor, dude. That's the waves we're riding, baby.
Hell yeah.
Wouldn't recommend it. Definitely do not get in. But that's where it's at, dude. So I think there is something to be said for bigger cities having less culture. You know, like New York can get away with it because New York is like New York is
like the hub of all cultures.
Yes. And it has a very high ratio of like people that are actually from there versus people that are just there now. You know what I mean? I don't think the same goes for LA. When I meet somebody who was like born in LA, I'm like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah. Were you just like an extra your whole life? Or what's going on?
Kind of the same thing when I meet somebody in Baltimore City that was actually born in Baltimore City. Where it's like, oh, okay. Like, that's interesting, you know? I feel like there's like, I don't really meet too many people like us that like were just born in the city. Like, unless they were born in like the really, really nice parts, you know what I mean? Like fucking like Roland Park. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's like a different level, you know? But yeah. So, certain cities have different cultures, and I think Baltimore's up there with pride, baby. And I think Ocean City is definitely up there with pride, dude.
They got a big ego.
Yeah, pride and ego, dude. Pride and ego. There is something like...
Shout out Fishtails. They're the fucking best.
There is something charming about being a townie, though, that I've always enjoyed. I've always enjoyed that I was from Towson. When I would go to, like, bars when we were in college, and, like, people would be like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, where'd you go to high school? I'm like, Towson High School. Like, I didn't know that was a high school. I'm like, yeah, it is, baby. It's right over there. It's right over there.
Yeah.
And then people were like, oh, that's cool. I feel like that's the same pride that like when you're in Ocean City and you talk to somebody who's a local and they're like, I'm from that street right there. It's like, oh, that's cool. Which one of those trailers were you from, dude? That's sick.
Yeah, what do you do for fun around here?
Talk about being from here and surf, dude. Lots of surfers, you know? Didn't know. I never noticed that until I started paying attention.
Surfing culture in Ocean City for the waves that strike like a foot from the shore. You get to surf for like 3 seconds every time.
Yeah. As I was driving home through the north side, I was driving through Delaware, and I gotta say, no offense to anybody from Delaware, but Delaware is not a great state. You know, it's just not anything about it really charming. Like it's like
it's very plain.
Like and I'll say Eastern Shore of Maryland kind of sucks too. Like Eastern Shore of Maryland sucks, but Delaware is like if you took the Eastern Shore of Maryland and made it a state. Like
on the beach stuff in Delaware is really nice, but like once you go Bayside and back into like the county or whatever, like it's just like it looks like you're driving through like back roads everywhere you drive, no matter how close it is to the ocean. Yeah. It's like, am I about to like stumble upon like a fucking farm, a corn maze or some shit? Like, what's going on? It's literally all corn. At least in Western Maryland, there's like mountains and shit. You know, like you got to Western Maryland, like, that's kind of cool. Or like, there's like, I don't know, people put like fences up or like anything to liven up the anything, place. Dude. Like, it's like Delaware is basically like an unfurnished apartment. It really is. It's just fucking empty. It really is. You would think somebody would do something about it. Yeah, you think someone would put like a rug down or like at least get a chair. Yeah. Like there's nothing. And I don't mean to shit on a state as a whole. Not even sidewalks. Yeah. Did you notice that? There's no sidewalks. There's no sidewalks anywhere. Just road and grass.
It's just like so unappealing, and I don't know. It's like they're the first state, dude. They've had the longest to get their shit together. They are
They've
the
had
first
so much
state.
time to get their shit together. But maybe that's the thing. Like, people don't pay taxes in Delaware or whatever the fuck. So maybe like the state's like, yeah, fuck you. We're gonna put sidewalks down. You're
You
not
know
paying
what?
for it.
I didn't even think about that, but that is an excellent point.
Because in
Perhaps.
Delaware, they have to pay for their trash removal and shit too.
Well, they pay income taxes. They just don't pay sales tax, right? Like
There's
they
something
still
about like, I think like, I don't know.
like when you go to when you purchase something, you don't have to pay the extra tax, but they definitely still have income taxes. It's not Puerto Rico where you just go there and you're just like, fuck it, bro.
But they don't pay taxes on some shit. Like, I know people retire in Delaware because they don't have to pay, like, I don't know if it's property tax or like whatever the fuck people have to pay when they buy a house. I have no clue about any of that shit.
I think this might be the most socialist thing I've ever said, but I will pay higher taxes to not live in Delaware. Like
Delaware sucks.
I'm searching for the limits.
Unless I have like a beach house.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not living in Delaware anytime soon.
Like if you're searching for the limits of how libertarian you are, just think, would I live in Delaware? And that'll answer your question. The answer is no, then okay.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where I'm at, dude. You know? Like I'd like grass to be mowed. Maryland, as much as people have to say about Maryland, beautiful state. Beautiful state. When you
Great
get to the
roads.
great roads.
You can always tell when you're entering Maryland from Pennsylvania or Delaware because the roads instantly get so nice.
Instantly better, and the median strips are mowed. That's something you take for granted, dude. When you drive through Georgia, it's like there's just two roads in the middle of a field, and the field is just growing above you. You know, in Virginia, they just have giant mounds in the middle, and Tennessee. They just build a hill like so big that I guess that if you were to veer off the road, you just get like big air and just jump over the oncoming traffic into the ditch on the other side. I guess they're like, we can either make a guardrail or we can make like a really big X Games jump to avoid crashes.
Jesus.
And Maryland does the opposite. We have a ditch, dude, which is not as good, I feel like. A lot
I
of
don't
people
mind
get,
the ditch. I don't mind it.
I've never been in one. I think I would mind it if I wound up in
If
one.
I was in the ditch, I wouldn't be worrying about the ditch. I'd have like other worries first.
Yeah. I think your opinions on ditches would vastly change.
Yeah.
Once you find yourself in one, because it's easy to get off a hill. Not so easy to get out of a ditch, dude.
True.
You gotta get like a helicopter.
I think I'd probably be fucked in a ditch. I think I'm like front wheel, or no, I'm all wheel drive, I guess. So that might be good. But my old car was front wheel drive. I think that's bad for hills.
Yeah. You want
Or maybe it's good. I don't fucking know.
Who knows? I think I don't know which one is better for hills. I think rear wheel drive is just better in general. Just because I don't know, because it's pushing instead of pulling. I don't know. I gotta fucking. I'm not. We're not mature enough to start thinking
not
about
mechanics,
the
dude.
fucking drive of our cars, dude. That's the last thing I think about, dude.
Yeah.
Like, do all the wheels work? That's about where I'm at with cars still. Now, maybe my next car, maybe. I could see myself splurging for like a nicer car, but not too nice.
Yeah.
You know? I almost would feel uncomfortable having too nice of a car. Because I just feel like it's like...
Yeah, you just wait to fuck it up.
Well, that too. I mean, I still haven't made my way as a driver. I'm not a bad driver, but I'm a very like whoops driver. Like when it comes to driving, like I would rather drive than most of the people in my life if we're going on a trip together. But like I'll scratch a bumper, you know.
Yeah.
I won't dent it, but I will scratch it,
Yeah.
you know. And like I'm not gonna do that in an Audi. That sucks.
No. But also, like, I don't know. Maybe when you're in that situation and you have that car, I guess, I don't know. I feel like if you have enough money to have a nice car, you might not even care about scratching it or bumping it because you know you can just fix it.
Well, that's. I mean, I was getting more at it from the angle of like, yeah, the repairs thing is one thing, but it's also like one of those things where it's like, okay, dude, once you get to the level where you're buying Porsches and Audis and Ferraris and shit, it's like they'll talk about like fuel economy. It's like, dude, if I have a Ferrari, I don't give a shit about gas mileage.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not taking the family on a trip to California. I might.
Yeah, I'm not driving the Ferrari to fucking Ocean City.
Yeah. But I might, if I drive
But
a
also,
Ferrari to Ocean
you
City,
might
I
do
don't,
it once.
yeah, I don't care about the gas mileage, dude. I'll fill up the I have a Ferrari, bro.
Yeah.
I think I'm stopping at a gas station and be like, Jesus Christ. 301 now?
Yeah, you're probably stopping at more gas stations even when you don't need gas,
Yeah.
just to fucking flex.
Just to flex, dude. Pull into fucking Pittsville, Maryland. Be like, you ever seen one of these?
Sorry, just topping this off. You're paying like $5.
Want to see some real speed?
Just
I
trying
don't
to
know.
like hit on people.
I was getting more at it from the angle of like, I just think there's a certain level of car where it starts to come off as douchey. And I know that's an unpopular opinion because I feel the same way about clothes.
It depends on like how old you are. Because if like let's say you're fucking like 22 and you had like some supercar or whatever, it's like, all right, you didn't fucking earn that. Like,
Yeah.
or maybe you did. Maybe you're fucking genius, like tech, whatever. But like, you're never gonna like look the part for that car. Mm-hmm. But like, I feel like once you get like in your 30s or whatever, and you have like a nicer car, like it's more expected. Like, not expected, but it's more like accepted.
Yeah. Well, okay. I agree. I think that's a good point about the age thing. There's definitely an age factor
It was like,
to it.
Because that was like such a thing when fucking remember when Jonah got like the Audi or whatever,
Out of you.
and it would be like Audi, Audi.
Yeah.
Like that was because he was just so young having that car, and like you know he worked for it, and he fucking has like a nicer one now. So like good for him, dude. He fucking grinded and he fucking did his thing.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
what you want, yeah.
But it was such a like unexpected for us at that age because we're like, oh, we're all driving beat up old cars like that we got hand me down or got super cheap. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I
it's
get
like seeing a fucking little kid in a suit too big.
Yeah. Yes. Well, okay. Again, I know that a lot of people wouldn't agree with me with this because I think the same, like I said, I think the same thing about clothes. I think like there's a difference between having a very nice suit, or like a nice sweater, nice pants, nice shoes, especially nice shoes, really, like a nice watch, maybe a bracelet, but I don't know. It's a little out of my league.
Depends.
Rings is put. I don't know. I think I've pretty much decided the only ring I'm ever gonna wear is my wedding ring. I don't see myself being like fucking Ric Flair with the rings,
Yeah.
But like, I guess I don't. It's always it's always peeved me when people get things to when you can tell they're doing it to flex some type of status, like and there's and that's a judgmental thing on my part because not everybody who has like high level fashion items, like for instance, like you're wearing a Supreme hat, but I don't think you're wearing a Supreme hat to be to other people like, yeah, that's right, bitch, I can afford Supreme. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
got this for $40, bitch.
yeah, exactly. Like you're wearing a Supreme hat because you're into fashion, you're into stuff like that. Like you get cool sneakers and shit like that. That's different. So, but like, and I guess if you're really
I don't buy that shit like resale or anything.
yeah, but I guess if you're like really into cars, then I could see having like a really nice car. But I tell you what, dude.
But that like, if you were, it would make sense if you also like knew how to work on it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like it's kind of the same thing we were talking about with the sex chains, not the sex change, the sex chains where you tie people down with your handcuffs.
Yeah.
And like the same how I use that metaphor for like a kid who just learned how to play guitar and gets like the nicest guitar, the nicest amp. It's like you're a poser, bro. Where it's kind of the same thing with cars.
You're a
It's
sex poser, dude.
sex poser. It's kind of like the same thing with cars where it's like, dude, like if you have a Ferrari and I talk to you about that Ferrari and you can be like, yeah, dude, like this type of engine, blah, blah, blah. And I can tell you like you're really into cars and cars are your thing. And like you all your life, you just wanted to work hard enough to get this car that you're really into because you love cars. That's different. But if you just pull up in a Ferrari and you're like, yeah, park that shit up front, walk in with like two girls on either arm to like lock bar or something while the valet is yelling at me as I unload because I'm taking up your spot. It's like, dude, fuck you. It's like, I've never seen myself, because I'm not into cars, pulling up in a car that is like a head-turning car. I don't ever see myself in a head-turning car. I see myself in a car in my future where we're like leaving a bar, like you, me, we're all doing something, whatever. We go back to our cars and somebody's like, oh, that's a nice car. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I just got it. It's whatever. That's the extent. Like you hop in my car, you're like, oh shit, The seats work? That's cool. AC
Ooh.
on?
Damn, seat warmers.
Yeah. It's like, that's the extent, dude. Like, when I would almost feel self-conscious driving a car down the street where people are like, damn, like, that's not me, bro. You know?
But you don't think like I think for me, I think I'm in the same boat as you, but that's just because I'm like, I don't know. But I do think like if you know, let's just fantasize and say fucking whatever, this shit blew up and we signed the $100 million deal to fucking Spotify or whatever. I would buy a fancy car then.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You wouldn't buy like some fancy car then?
It's so
The Rogan deal.
it's so hard to tell, dude. And the reason I'm still on the fence about it is because my friend Sean would always be like, dude, you don't understand. Like, the more money you make, the more money you spend. And that's why he would always still be like, kind of not broke, obviously, but just like, you know, like still like on the same level of like, this flight's a little expensive or something like that, where I'm like, damn, dude, you make like so much money. Like, it's like, dude, like, but yeah, if you're like, you go out to bars, you wind up buying more expensive shit. You wind up like, so you wind up spending proportionally to how much you make. So you always find yourself in the same financial situation.
Yeah.
And like, he swore that was the case, but I've made more and more money over the years progressively. Not a lot, but I make more money now than I did 2 years ago, and then more there than 2 years before that. So I've been progressively making more money. I haven't noticed any significant changes in what I treat myself to. Like, I still wear the same 6 shirts. I still have one pair of pants. I still have one pair of shoes for every occasion. And when I say occasion, I don't mean like casual bar outing, formal. I mean like every occasion, like
warm or cold.
Yeah, warm or cold, church or not church. That's like, you know, like is there any religious aspect to this ceremony, whether it be a wedding, a funeral, a sermon? I'm putting on my dress shoes. If there's no God involved,
or if it's cold,
Chucks. And if there's no God involved, then it's not cold, flip-flops.
Exactly.
That's literally, and workout shoes, which I bought for like $30.
The last pair of Chucks.
Yeah.
The previous Chucks that have holes in them now.
So it's like, I've seen up to this point in my life that I haven't noticed that, like, as I've made more money, I've been like, ooh, let me fucking, like, okay, I bought this watch for $100. Looks okay, but it's not like a head-turning watch, but it's a nice watch, you know?
And you just wanted to watch.
Just wanted to watch because my other one stopped working. That was gifted to me, you know? And so this cost 3 times less than how much it would have cost to get that other one repaired. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I have to wonder that if I ever do get to the point where have a ton of money, if I would spend it on shit like that, you know? Because like, I think I would spend it on stuff that's like appreciating versus depreciating. And that's the other thing my brother told me. Oh, you buy a Rolex, it's like an investment. It's like, dude, don't try to sell me on that. Like, you know, there's a lot of things you can buy that are an investment that I don't think.
I mean, I think technically it's true if you like really keep it nice and like maintained or whatever, or if it's like a rare model or whatever, like that could potentially appreciate in value. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I don't think any of our like our friends or any of us should buy a fucking Rolex right now.
Yeah,
like unless like I don't know. It's just a thing that it's like, all right, let's get a house first.
But exactly. And I have friends that like, you know, have described that like they have Rolexes and one of their goals in life was to get a Rolex. And it's like,
one of my goals in life was to get a fake Rolex, and I got one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I respect that goal.
Yeah.
You know, I think I would draw the line here. I think that as long as the price point matches the functionality, I respect it. So I can understand dropping another $20 on a pair of underwear because that pair of underwear is better than the cheaper Fruit of the Loom underwear that you're wearing right now, that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
I can understand, but the second you're dropping another $20 on the same pair of underwear just to have a certain name across the band, I no longer respect that. Because it's like, okay, dude.
But also, what if it is really comfortable?
That's what I'm saying, though. So, like, if there is a dip...
What if it is worth it?
If it's worth it, I respect it. If it's worth it, I respect it. But I think, like, for instance, you get a pair of Calvin Klein boxers. There are boxers you can buy, I'm sure of it, that are significantly less expensive.
Oh yeah, probably.
That are made out of the same fucking material. Like, it's cotton, dude. Like, it's cotton. You get a pair of underwear. Okay, if the cut is better as you go up the price point, but there is a premium price point where it stops being about the functionality and the actual performance or whatever, and it starts just becoming about the brand name. You know, kind of with liquors. It's like, why is a shot of this one particular liquor like $80 a shot, but you would enjoy this $15 shot, which is still more expensive than like, it's still a good liquor.
They're both gonna get you drunk.
Yeah, they're both gonna get you drunk, and honestly, there might not even be any tangible difference in the actual quality of it other than the marketing.
Especially if you've already been drinking.
Exactly. No,
You won't be able to tell the
that is one of the
difference.
best rules that I think everyone should follow is if you are a person who does enjoy a good beer or a good liquor, do it first.
Yeah.
Go out and make your first drink a scotch. That's like a nice scotch. Dude, by your third drink, you can switch to fucking rail scotch and soda. You can switch to Miller Lights. I will go out. If I go out, I'll get like, you know, my first beer. I'll get like a nice, like we got like Corona Premiers the first round and stuff like that. And then we had like 4 of those. And then by the end, it's like, dude, I'm good with Millers, dude. When we got to Ponzetti, I was like, I'm drinking Millers. I'm not buying fucking Goose Islands every round.
No.
I'm past that. I'm not drunk, but I'm beyond the point of like caring about what I'm drinking.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So, but I think liquor is a perfect example of that because it really is so much about the marketing and the prestige about the label and the branding versus the actual quality. Jack Daniels used to be a rail whiskey. Back in the 90s, it was considered a rail whiskey. Now it's considered a, like, you know, it's not a rail, it's like a call, what they call call. So there's rail, which is bottom shelf, like cheapest liquor. Then there's call liquor, which is like a liquor that you have to request. You have to call for it, or else they'll just give you the cheap one by default. So you have to specify this liquor. That's called call, and there's top shelf. So rail, call, top shelf. Jack Daniels is a call liquor now. Used to be rail. They haven't changed anything about it. They have done nothing to Jack Daniels since the 90s. It's been the same recipe since 18
Yeah, but they branded themselves.
They branded it.
They started doing like, all right, this is Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. We're using really cheap liquor to add flavor to an already really cheap thing.
Yeah.
And it'll make it taste different and maybe a little better. Who knows?
Or maybe not,
But
maybe worse.
It says
Who
Jack
cares?
Daniels, so that
Yeah.
gets in people's head. Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
People just order Jack and Coke. Oh, let me get a Jack and Coke. You can just keep raising the price of Jack Daniels. People are going to keep buying shit because they know they like a Jack and Coke.
That's when you know that you have made it as a marketer, because like Coke, for instance, is synonymous with soda. Half the time when you say Coke, they might not even have Coke. But I'm not going in. Can I get a soda? I'm saying, can I get a Coke? And then they might be like, oh, we got Pepsi or we got this. Okay, but everybody's saying Coke, so like it becomes synonymous with the drink. Like I say whiskey diet for my drink. Because I really don't give a shit. I do not really think KG, Kentucky Gentleman's, all that great. So if they only have that, I might get like Jim Beam, which I like. Jim Beam is an actual bourbon, meaning it was. I mean, I do taste the difference between Jim and Jack, but Evan Williams is my favorite bourbon whiskey for that price. I mean, there's definitely some bourbons that are like really nice that I'll like pretend to know the difference, but I don't fucking know the difference.
You
Like
can't
Maker's
tell.
Mark, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah, who cares?
I don't fucking know the difference. I think the only time I've ever had noticed a difference was with like Four Roses once. Evan Williams wins blind taste tests all the time. One of the cheapest liquors you can buy. And so I think there's a lot of things in life like that where it comes down to status. And if I ever get the vibe from you as a person that you are purchasing one thing over another thing simply to say that you have that thing instead of the other thing when they're both the same product, I mean, who cares what I think? But in my mind, I'm going like, oh, that's a status move. You're doing this for status. I would keep purchasing nicer and nicer cars as long as the performance of that car was proportional to the price I'm paying. Like, obviously, there are better cars to own than a 2015 Nissan Altima.
Yeah, for sure.
So when I have more money, I might go out and get a 2016 Nissan Altima.
Exactly.
You know, something like that. But like, once you get to the point where it's like, okay, I got a fucking Audi, but now I'm going to get a fucking Bugatti and wake up in it. It's like, dude, why? Why do you need a Bugatti? Does it do anything different? I'm sure it might, but the speed limit's 70, bro.
Yeah.
What are you doing with the Bugatti on the interstate?
Speeding? And getting tickets.
That's
and
the other thing I
not
never
caring
understood.
because I already have the money to buy a Bugatti.
That's what I've never understood is the whole, like, people talk about like performance and it's like, dude, unless you're taking this to the track every weekend,
Yeah.
who cares?
Or if you live near the Autobahn or whatever the fuck it's called.
As far as I'm concerned, my Altima is as fast as your Bugatti. Because when we're driving to Ocean City, we're getting there at the same time.
Yeah, I'm speeding past it because you're going to get pulled over if you go 5 over.
Exactly. So I think that's where I draw the line, is when stuff becomes not about the stuff anymore. So yeah, I think that's fair. I think
it's fair, but also I think that's your poor mentality thinking about it. I think if you got to the point where buying a Bugatti wasn't just a hypothetical and it wouldn't even like dent you, I think you'd be like, and not even necessarily Bugatti, but if you just saw like a nice ass car one day and were like, oh shit, I could buy this.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. You wouldn't do that? If you saw a real ass transformer could turn into a robot that you could also pilot, but it was also a fucking sick car, and you're a fucking multi-billionaire, and you're like, just happen to be shopping for a new car anyway, and you see that on the lot, you're not gonna be like, oh, let me get this fucking Roomba.
And I think this is another thing that goes back to our earlier point in this conversation about the age thing. I'm at a point right now where if I had disposable income to that level, before I got a Bugatti, I'd get a fucking studio that's not a garage.
Yeah.
I'd get
but this is way past all that shit.
So this is after I've done everything I ever need to have done. Because as long as I have that kind of money and I'm still doing what I'm doing, I'm going to be spending it on functional shit. Like, yo, I'm going to get the dopest fucking camera ever. I'm going to get Steven Spielberg to direct our podcast. Like that's where I'd be thinking. I'm not going to take $500,000 and buy a fucking car when I could take $500,000 and spend it on making every episode of LFTS a short film. Fucking, I don't know. I don't even know how you do it. There would be a point where it'd be like, what are we doing? But like, that's where I'd be thinking. Like, I would buy like sick stuff, get in the nicest studio and record like albums with like $1 million budgets, and fund it myself. That would be cool. It's like, dude, what am I gonna do with a Bugatti?
You're gonna show up to the studio for that recording session and be like, this could be you one day if we make a hit.
I guess you're right, and it could be a poor man mentality.
You gotta play the part when you're that guy. You gotta be that guy. You can't pull up in a fucking 2015 Altima.
I wouldn't pull up in
to a business meeting.
Of course not. I would not pull up in a 2015 Altima.
2020 maybe, but
2020. Of course, this would be in 2030. So still the same thing. Actually, worse at that point. One of my favorite sayings, and there is such a thing about what you said, the poor man mentality. A lot of poverty is a mentality.
Where are you going?
Because I think that there's certain people that would be like,
people need to stay asleep about it.
Yeah, you're undermining the fact that like some people are in like positions that they can't get out of. It's like,
that's
yes,
definitely a thing.
That's a thing, but also there is absolutely a thing where poverty is a mentality, and where that's what you're used to, and that's all you expect out of life, and that's what you. I mean, look, touchy subject, whatever. One of my favorite sayings: "Poor men spend, middle class men save, rich men invest." I think spending on frivolous shit is poor man mentality. I think that when you have money, that the best thing to do with that is to invest in stuff. Well, yeah, you could say invest in stuff you enjoy, because an investment doesn't necessarily have to be a financial return.
It can also be frivolous spending.
Frivolous spending if that's what you enjoy. So if you enjoy, you can invest in spending frivolously.
Or you can frivolously spend and claim its investments.
Yeah, I guess
Camel Crush was an investment.
It wasn't an investment. I consider it an investment. Terrible investment. But that's why I talk to fucking like Joe about this shit, and I get in arguments with my friends all the time about stocks. Everybody's always talking about stocks. Oh, we gotta invest in stocks. It's like, dude,
it's probably a good thing to do. I do it, but also I know it's fucking boring, and I don't even understand it, so I don't talk about it.
look, here's what stocks are. For anybody wondering what stocks are. Stocks are people with businesses and products that they offer you a share of it, and then you go, wow, I really believe in this product. I'm going to give you some of my money so I can see some of the return off of the hopeful success of this product / company. If I were to take $1,000 out of my bank account right now and invest it in other people's companies, that would be tacitly saying that I believe in those other people's companies more than I believe in myself. That I think that $1,000 out of my bank account better serves me by giving it to someone else to do what they want to do and pursue their dreams than to put it into the stuff that I'm doing. When I talk to Zach about that shit, I say, dude, I get that you have a lot of money and you have enough money to go out and buy a house cash and then flip it for more cash. That's cool. Yeah. I don't have that. If you're a person
at that level, yes, buying stocks makes sense because you have enough liquid income to literally just put some away and let it work for you.
Bingo.
Like, but that's the thing. Like, you don't have to fucking, like, if your situation is like, hey, I can either put $500 onto fucking stocks or $500 to fucking get a new tire for my car, you should get a new tire from your car. Don't fucking invest in stocks.
Absolutely.
But if you have money that's just sitting in your bank account that you know is going to be there and you don't need it for anything else and like you are already saving money, just put like I don't fucking do this, but I should. But literally every week just fucking put $20 away. Put $20 away cuz $20 isn't fucking shit. Mm-hmm. If you put $20 away, let's say
$1,000 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
$1,040.
$1,040. You did the math for me before I could even open my phone. $1,040, and then you put that into a fucking. This is all. I'm not an expert or whatever. This is just advice I was given that I didn't follow, but I kind of follow a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you can, $50 a week. That's even more money a year.
2,500.
And literally put that into a fund, a EFT or whatever the fuck it's called, where smart people who know what they're doing will put together a portfolio of like high performing stocks, and you put shit in there and literally just let it sit. Just let it fucking sit, and little by little it'll fucking just cake you up money.
Yes. Absolutely.
And you don't have to do anything about it.
That is good advice that I now think I will follow after hearing it. It's funny. You hear things like that and you're like, wow, $20 a week. I know for a fact I can put away $20 a week.
Yeah.
I could probably do $50 a week. Honestly, that's a good way of looking at life in terms of like, dude, I want to be able to put a down payment on a house in 2 years. Okay, so what do I need to do? I would like to be able to put 20 grand down on a house.
Yeah, start a new bank account or go to your bank where you have a bank account and say, hey, can I get another like thing that I can just put money in?
Yeah, that you will refuse to allow me to touch because I have a savings account and I just use that as a checking account. I just put money in my savings account. I'm like, well, I'm out of money in my checking account. Better just what's savings? What?
Yeah, I usually
more like other checking.
I try to keep some in my checking account, but I never keep too much because like it's better to keep it in saving for the minuscule amount of interest or whatever.
Yeah.
And also my bank will automatically just transfer shit over, like no fuss, no fee.
Okay. Excellent point. Also, going back to the stocks thing. Mm-hmm. If you're in a position where you have money sitting around and also you kind of know what you're doing a little bit or you have a broker that's actually putting you in worthwhile investments and shit like that.
Or if you just spend like literally over pandemic, like I pretty much doubled my shit just from fucking barely doing it, looking at it every day, like trying to notice trends, literally bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like literally not even looking at shit other than just like getting a feeling of things, made up bullshit, and I was able to fucking double my shit.
Okay. This is a conversation I had with Joe. Joe, young kid, 22 years old, about to be 23 next week. So Joe's about to be 23 years old. Mm-hmm. He has a regular 23-year-old job, making like close minimum wage, full time, whatever. So not a lot of disposable income,
Mm-hmm.
if any. But Joe puts a couple hundred in stocks here and there and blah, 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 blah. And I was saying to him that when you're in that position, if you are a person who is living essentially paycheck to paycheck, and when I say paycheck to paycheck, I don't mean like every 2 weeks you're like, oh God, I can't wait to get paid because I'm fucking broke. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I don't have any food in my house.
yeah, I mean, like, you know, like you have some money, maybe you can take a trip here and there. You have some money in the bank, but you're not fucking rich. And like, if one fucking thing went wrong in your life, like if your fucking car was stolen or if like something broke and you don't have the money to repair it, it would
set
put a
you back.
dent. You know, like if you're in a position where one thing going wrong, one or two things going wrong in your life would put you in a position where it's like, ah, fuck, I'm broke again, then you have no business putting money in stocks, in my opinion. When I talk to Joe and I'm like, dude, you got to look at investing and understand what you're really doing. And like we were talking about like
Yeah,
getting
well, it
these-
also depends on the kind of investment. Like the thing I'm talking about is like a Roth IRA, so you can't even touch it till you're like 55.
Yes, that's good because that's a safe investment. That's like, you know, you're getting a return. You don't know how much of a return you're getting, but you know that money's working for you.
And
in some way or
also,
another.
there's like less stress, like because I look at that as like a fake number because I can't even do anything with it.
Yeah.
So
Your
I'm a little more
imaginary-
willing to like, not really gamble, but I'm like, all right, this shit goes up and down so much that if it goes down, I know it'll go up again. I'm not stressed.
Sure. Yes. I'll talk to Joe and I'll be like, dude, you know what would really be an investment? Take the fucking $500 you have in random stocks, like some weed company in Denver, and fucking buy yourself a guitar pedal that you know will give you the sound that you want so that you can fucking put out the music you want and invest in yourself. Like, you have to understand investment from that standpoint, that when you're taking the only money you have or some of the only money you have and giving it to someone else in hopes that they have a return for you, you're basically saying, hey dude, I trust you more with my $500, which essentially when you're doing stocks at that level, you might as well just go to the casino. I believe that. If you've got stuff in a Roth IRA, that's different. But if you're just going on there and be like, weed
Yeah,
stocks,
If you're playing like the penny stocks, trying to like get a fucking like
Yeah.
Bitcoin rise out of it, you're gonna be waiting.
exactly. So why not invest in yourself? And if you find yourself in a position where
Because that's like it's like the lottery at that point. It's like
it is the lot. It is literally like going and putting money on black at the casino.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't think about that because it's got all kinds of finance and it's legalized gambling in these cases on Wall Street and most of those transactions, things like that. That's what it is. And so people get involved in it because there's a certain like prestige to the idea of stocks versus the idea of just gambling. But that's really what it is in most cases. And it's like, ask yourself why you're more comfortable putting money on black than putting money on yourself. Ask yourself that. And, you know, like I said, if you have the money to do it where you can't possibly think of another thing that you could invest in yourself that would get you closer to what your goal is, then sure. But if you're spending if you're putting $500 in stocks and now you don't have $500 to spend on the shit that you need to advance yourself, then that's a fucking problem, dude. That's a fucking problem. You know? So I don't foresee myself getting to the point where I would say, you know what, I'm going to stop throwing money at myself and start throwing money at this fucking company. Because at that point, I feel like it's just like, you know, kind of
you
gave
gotta
up.
do both though.
You got to do both, but not right now, dude. I'm not doing both.
It's like
I got
it's
an
a,
IRA.
yeah.
That's not
it's
what I'm
more
talking
of a
about,
long
though.
play.
Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about, like the Bitcoin watchers and shit like that.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like that's a different thing. And like no shade to people who do that. I'm just saying, like, look, there are people who like have their job.
It's okay to like dabble in it, I think, but I don't think you should like make that your main focus because you're most likely not gonna fucking succeed. Like most of these things have already like unless there's like a fucking brand new one that starts off super low and is like bound to like be the next big thing, like that shit only happens like once every 10 years. Like you gotta fucking wait.
And it's a straight up gamble over whether or not that's the thing.
Yeah.
You go in there like, oh, I think this is gonna, you know, like shrooms, dude. When can I invest in shrooms? You know, And when I can, I probably still fucking won't, dude. You know? Like, there's a bunch of things that, like, call it poor man mentality, call it whatever, but I just can't see any investment being worth my time right now other than what you're talking about, like an IRA. I have one. I got $1,000 in there. It's been sitting there for like 3 years. I think it's up to like 1,060 or something.
There you go, baby.
I think it's up to like 1,500, which is dope.
Yeah, it just does it for you.
But then I was sitting there thinking like, wow, wouldn't it be sweet if I had that so that I could put that towards getting a house? You know, wouldn't it be sweet if like I had that money right now so I could put that towards like getting like, you know, anything that I might need, clear a toilet, like in the studio, like anything.
A shower.
Yeah, like a shower, like anything, you know, it's just a weird way of thinking. I understand why people do it, and I've dabbled in it myself. And then I was like, wait a second, this is not me, dude. This is not me, you know? And for all intents and purposes, it could be, if you invest in yourself, that could be a losing investment in all reality. But I mean, so could any investment. So why not make it yourself, you know? You know, but I also understand there's people that like they have their jobs and then they're like they come home and that's it. They might not necessarily have any like grand pursuits beyond that in terms of like, you know, I guess that's a thing. Of course it's a thing, you know. But I feel like that's kind of a problem too in a way. Unless your job itself is what you love doing.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're fucking chilling, you're killing it, you're fucking middle classing it up, upper middle classing it up. No shade, bro. I'm not here to hate.
Yeah, I'm not
Live
here
your
to
life.
hate, dude. Yeah.
Live your life when you retire, I guess.
Yeah. So when you're 70, get a fucking Bugatti, dude. Because there's something cool about a rich old
shock
man,
value,
dude.
yeah.
You know, it's like when I see a rich old man, I'm like, damn, like his cologne is really pungent, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be that type of old
Smoking
man.
jacket.
Yeah, like I kind of wonder what old men are going to be like when we're old men. But like,
Just fucking messy ass tattoos and fucking
yeah.
still dyeing their hair.
Speaking of all this marketing and branding and shit, I watched a very interesting documentary on Edward Bernays, who was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. And he was like basically...
Make the Bernays sauce?
I think so. Maybe. How do you spell it?
I don't know.
It might be because he did advertising for like foods and shit. Like okay, so I watched this video when I woke up around breakfast time, and YouTube knows me. So like, you probably want to watch a documentary about breakfast instead of
At
making
11 a.m.
Yeah, at 11 a.m.
Breakfast time.
instead of making yourself breakfast. So I was like, yeah, I'll watch a documentary about bacon and eggs, dude. That's cool. And it was like, why is bacon and eggs the traditional American breakfast? So I was like, you got me, YouTube. I'm popping it on. And they start going on this thing where they're like, the reason, and he starts off, he's like, the traditional American breakfast is a staple of America. It's been going on for like hundreds of years. And he's like, except it's not. And I was like, oh, I love those ones. Like the Vsauce twist where they're like, where he's like, the earth isn't flat. Or is it? Ding. And then it like goes into this whole thing, you know. I'm like, okay, now you got me, bro.
Cold open.
Yeah, cold open. So he hits me with the American breakfast hasn't always been bacon and eggs. What happened? Well, this fucking advertiser, Edward Bernays, comes in, nephew of Sigmund Freud, and he had this fascination with understanding what makes people do things, what makes people buy things. He was like the first really kind of like founding father of modern advertising, I would say. And he figured out that like, so what he figured out, there was like these 4 steps. And I think the first one was like, it's going to sound stupid if I explain it now, but basically bacon and eggs was done because like this bacon company was like, having shorter sales, and like people were eating less hearty breakfast because like back in the farm days they would be eating like all these hearty breakfasts to do manual labor. Then once people started moving to the cities, like they didn't need as much of that like hearty breakfast and shit, so it kind of just became like a cup of coffee and a piece of toast, kind of like how they do in Greece and stuff, because Greece don't fucking work. But like so he was like, the companies were like, dude, we need a way for people to keep buying our fucking shit. So then Bernays comes up with this scheme where he's like, all right, we're gonna fucking appeal to people's like lowest baseline desires. So he makes like a patriotic thing. He's like, you know, like we're not gonna like Americans are hard workers and blah 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 blah, and we need a breakfast that can like fuel us for, and we're not gonna be like the fucking French and drinking fucking marmalade in the morning, all that bullshit, and like sipping vermouth like the British. We're Americans. We eat hearty breakfast to do hearty things, blah blah blah. And so they start pushing this campaign that like taps into people's psyches where they're like, yeah, I'm fucking American, babe. I'm eating bacon and eggs, dog. Fuck this cereal, dude. If I was eating fucking cornflakes and shit, not jerking off, fuck that shit. I want fucking bacon and eggs. They're fucking US of A.
Use that bacon grease. I'm gonna go beat off. I'm gonna pray to the flag.
So he does this whole thing. They're like, and it works. And all of a sudden, people start fucking selling all kinds of bacon and eggs. And then he's like, all right, let's do that shit with orange juice too, because nobody really wants orange juice. So he's like, ooh, let's make this campaign and be like, orange juice is like super healthy, and like basically lie to people and tell them. And then they're like, yo, Lucky Strikes comes, and they're like, dude, this one got me. This one got me. Lucky Strikes comes in, and they're like, dude, women aren't smoking cigs. This is a problem, dude. There's a taboo in society where women feel like it's unfeminine to smoke cigs. And that's like half of our market, you know, men and women. And so they're like, we need you, Bernays. We need you. So he's like, all right. Lucky Strikes comes in. He's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start first. We're going to tell people that thin is in. So thin fashion is starting to come back in, right? And then we're going to tell people that like sugar's really bad for you, which is kind of true. Bernays was kind of right about eating a bunch of sugar. So he does this campaign to women where it's like this beautiful woman smoking a cigarette. And then he's like, the motto is going to be reach for a lucky instead of a sweet. Basically saying, grab a cig instead of that dessert.
Yeah.
You know, because
Suppress
being thin is in.
with
Yeah,
a cig.
exactly. And so people are like, all right. And women are like, ooh, being skinny's nice. And like, I could smoke a cig instead of eating. That's good. And so people start doing that. And then the company comes back. They're like, all right, dude, we're getting some better sales. Women are starting to buy cigs, but we got another problem, dude. They're only doing it inside. They still won't smoke like out in public because it's still looked as like taboo and like masculine. So he's like, all right, dude, I'm Edward Bernays, bro. I got you on this. So then he's like, all right, what we're going to do is link up with this suffragette movement, which is in the 20s when women were trying to vote and stuff. He's like, we're going to make cigarettes a sign, a symbol of feminism. And so he goes, they had this big New York parade, and he puts in all the newspapers, watch as young suffragettes march during the parade and light torches of freedom. And so he gets, that's what they called them, torches of freedom.
God.
And so he gets all these young women, these like feminist women, to go out and smoke cigs during this parade as a symbol of like, fuck the patriarchy, we're women, we can do what we want. And then all of a sudden, women start buying cigs and stuff like that because they're like, yeah, fuck man, dude, I'm smoking outside now. And so now Lucky Strike's like, hell yeah, dude, we got women smoking, this is awesome. And he did it by like making it a political movement. He made their thing. And that stuck with me because I was like, wow, that's how like so much of like all of marketing kind of works that way, where it's like when he said
it's
that
kind
like
of funny now because now instead of like trying to push agendas, they're like coattailing agendas.
they're
They
coattailing
almost get
agendas.
in too late too, to the point where whenever like companies do shit like that, it always has like a level of like ugh to it.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are late.
Yeah. And there's also the aspect which I think is the most interesting is that these companies are just pushing whatever agenda they can and co-opting any movement they can to try to market more of their product. So I think it's so fascinating how all these billion-dollar companies have taken on this like woke, like anti-capitalist type of like, you know, pro all this shit stance. And then you zoom out and you're like, wait, they're doing that. It's the biggest stage of irony to me because all these humongously capitalist companies are preaching these like anti-capitalist ideals out of capitalism.
Yeah.
Like they're making more money. They're doing, that's the ultimate form of capitalism, is marketing to people, making them think that they're resisting capitalism or something, resisting some type of thing. You're part of the resistance by buying our fucking product.
Yeah. Well, it's like the same thing when like all like those IPAs came out and shit, and it would be like Budweiser or whatever made like a craft beer and they'd sell like it under a fake name or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are just co-opting a trend. Like,
Well, yeah, and also look at how Budweiser and certain beers have taken on this, like, you want American beer. Or like trucks. They're like,
Yeah.
you drive a Dodge because you're fucking American. We
Yeah.
don't drive Japanese shit. And it's like, that they were saying, like, before that, before the 20s and before that turn of the century shit, because this guy was like a propagandist during World War I. That was kind of where, and there was a whole bunch of they studied all these things during wartime because they were using propaganda to try to figure out how to like manipulate public morale and shit like that for war times. And then they got out of the wars and they were like, wait a second, we have all this like knowledge about the human psyche and group psychology, and we can use this during peacetime for marketing and advertising. Before then, you'd go to a place and they would just tell you like,
guys, we can use a war tactic on our own people.
bingo, bingo. And so you have like, before then it was all like facts based. Like somebody would have a car and they'd be like, yo, like this car gets X to the gallon, it does this, it does that, it does this. And people would be like, all right, dude, cool, whatever. And then they were like, no, dude, you got to take it deeper, bro. You got to make it like a symbol. Like you got to make your car like a symbol of like manliness in America. Like your Bud, like you fucking drink a Budweiser outside. There's a bunch of girls in a pool or something, and like everybody's having a fun time.
Ford Tough pickup truck.
Bingo. And so you see how these companies have been like kind of playing our psychology to try to sell more of their shit, which then like divides people too. So you have all these companies that are like pushing all these agendas, not because they believe in these agendas, but because these are the agendas that are going to make money. And then the public is so swayed by them because it's literally propaganda type shit.
Yeah.
And then we're all in the midst because everywhere we turn on the TV, we're always being influxed with all this messaging and political stuff. And it's like, it's all like kind of like, it's like a mind fuck in a way a little bit, because like we talked about before on this podcast, like I don't believe Nike actually cares. I don't. I believe people at Nike might care, but I don't think Nike as a corporation truly gives a shit. Like I said, when they have fucking sweatshops in Indonesia, I don't think they actually care about human rights. You know, I don't think a lot of these companies do. I don't think, you know, it's just one of the best examples of that. And I found this interesting was like, looking at, they did this like collage thing of like during Pride Month, all these companies like BMW and Amazon and all these companies in the Americas had like rainbow logos and stuff. And then if you went to like their logos for like the Middle East Twitter, it was just regular. And it was like, okay, so you don't, like, if you really believe that shit, like if you really believed in like LGBT rights, like you would fucking push that shit over there too, you know, because that's something that's important. No, it's just marketable here, and over there it would be not marketable.
Yeah.
So you don't do it. And so it's like, so you're kind of bullshitting, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And then so I just found it interesting to see how like the psychology of like propaganda and wartime kind of swept into human psyche in terms of like using that for marketing, which all goes back to the conversation we've been having this entire podcast so far about status symbols and buying products for reasons outside of how it benefits you, you know, for reasons outside of things that it's just like, it's just playing to like your ego or something like that. And
that's how like Apple became popular. They just like had all those commercials about like, I'm a like PC, I'm a Mac. It's like, damn, I want to be a cool Mac guy.
yeah, that PC guy sucks, dude. Sucks, dude. So I guess there was no moral to that whole thing other than the moral that has already been discussed, which is that I feel like we really are in this midst of so much shit going on, and it led me down this deeper rabbit hole thinking about like how this might sound far-fetched, but I could see, and we've definitely talked about this on the podcast, but I keep on coming back to it every couple of months as I develop more of the thought process. How I could see a point where like as we get more immersed in technology and things like that, that the virtual world becomes more appealing than the real world. And like, if there were a way, bear with me here.
Okay.
I don't know how this would happen. I don't know how it would be implemented, but let's just say it has been, where you could like tap into this virtual world, like this connective virtual experience that isn't just on your phone anymore. It's like you can just tap into it or wherever, which I think would be the ultimate progression of technology. I mean, it's like you can already see how we're so attached to it right now, and then like as technology develops, it just becomes closer and closer. Now you got your fucking watch, and now you whatever. As it gets closer and closer to home, how your actual existence, you could literally tap into a world like almost like a virtual reality, kind of like what they did in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Where you could do whatever you want, you could look however you wanted, you could fuck whoever you wanted, you could eat whatever you wanted, you could go wherever you wanted. How many people would opt to stay in the real world?
I mean, I guess it depends on how good it was in there.
Like, it would obviously be shoddy at first, and you'd probably tap in and tap out. Like, when they first, just like cell phones, it's like, you know, your first cell phones are like kind of shitty, and like, you have internet, but like, you know, you can really only do like one thing per hour on the internet. And now it's like most people don't even need fucking computers anymore because you can do like literally everything on your phone unless you're typing like an essay, which who's doing that after the age of 24? So it's like you can do most regular shit on your phone. The only time I use a computer is like to edit videos and like stuff that probably eventually you'll be able to do on the phone anyway.
Yeah.
But for now, still better to have a physical computer. But like, so like, motherfucker. Anyway.
That one's sly.
Yeah. So like, as it progresses, yeah, I'm sure like they'll probably...
Ooh.
Caught him slipping. Caught him slipping. Technology's shoddy at first. You tap in, you tap out. Oh, it's cool. Like I went in there. I like banged some chick from high school. It was kind of glitchy. It's kind of like I went in there and like she only had like 2 lines that she'd keep repeating over and over again, like a video game or something where she was like, "Oh, yeah." You know what I mean? Like, so I was thinking about today. And like, and then you pop out and you're like, it was like as good as jerking off porn. But then the technology keeps going. And you're like, dude, I went in there kind of like when you're in a dream and like you can have like a wet dream. Like you can imagine and then feel the sensation, wake up and you came in your pants. I've never had that, but I hear
I've never had that.
But like they keep on improving it, the virtual reality, boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden you go in there, you're like, dude, I just spent a day in like fucking Fiji Islands, dude. Fucking rode horseback with George Washington and banged his wife. Then we ate like fucking like all this shit. I have a fucking 6-pack in this realm, dude. I can get anybody I want. I'm famous in this realm. I am the world's #1 pop star in this realm.
Okay. So you're talking about being like completely immersed in your own world, not like one that other people can be into.
Yes.
Okay.
And so you have this entire, kind of like with Inception, where everybody's in their own dream world. And it's like, everybody's like in this like dream world where it's controlled. And like, he's like, dude, why are they all asleep? And he's like, well, being asleep is better than being awake for them. It's like, okay, they get to do whatever they fucking want in their dreams, dude. When they wake up, they're just regular fucking dudes that they don't really like their lives that much. And it's like, gets to the point where you have the option to basically have everything your heart desires.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, what is the point of real life at that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is if your regular life sucks, you don't have shit going for you, but you have this option to go into this realm where everything your heart desires is there.
Yeah.
How many people would take it? And also, as more
slippery slope, but also at the same time, if like, I don't know, why not just make that a reality too?
Because that's hard.
True.
Dude, you can't have everything you want in real life because there's other people in the game. You're one of 7 billion people. Like you could, even at best, you can do like, I would be willing to say that the most powerful person on the planet can still only do like 12% of the shit he really wants.
Oh, for sure.
Like, yeah, you could buy that building. You could have this band of Swedish concubines and stuff. You could do that shit, but it's like, you can't just like buy Europe. You can't just like fly to the moon and chill there.
True.
Like all the shit you want to do. Like I right now, I want to run. I want to just teleport to Pluto. Look at it and come back and be like, that shit was wild, dude.
Yeah.
Can't do that. 12%'s high. You can But let's go with that. You can do 12% of the stuff you want in life if like you killed it at life.
Yeah.
Most people
Dude,
do
I
like
want to go like deep ocean and see if there's like some big ass like unknown sea creatures.
you can't.
I can't do that.
You can't do that. But in this virtual world,
Yeah, you could.
we could pause this podcast, this virtual podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the deep ocean, you see a fucking sea monster, and you come back and you're like, dude, that was close.
But then I don't know. Would it be a virtual you or would it be actual you like in another suit somewhere?
It would be your consciousness. You would just be like here, right? You just like tapped in, just unconscious.
Yeah.
And in your
Town. We're coming out of the consciousness.
in your mind, you can just do whatever
We just
you
paused and went to Pluto real quick.
want. Yeah, dude, we're back.
We're back.
Underwhelming. I'm glad we're back, dude.
We're back.
Boring.
Cold.
Very
A
cold.
cold out there.
Still shivering from Pluto.
Goosebumps.
So, I guess what my theory is that as more and more people start to go, you know what, real life fucking sucks, bro. I'm going to just do whatever I want in this virtual realm and just living out the rest of my days in my own virtual world where I can still have like relationships with people, but it's all like a matrix or whatever. And like, I actually enjoy my matrix, you know? And then as more and more people go to that, then it's like less and less people are here. And then I'm like, dude, what happened to fucking Matt? Matt's in the matrix now, dude. He's just done? Yeah, he's just doing that now. Everybody's doing that. And I'm like, well, nobody wants to hang out? And then it's like, well, dude, if you want to hang out, you can fucking join us over there.
What if in your matrix, though, they develop a matrix-like thing, and then every one of your connections in that matrix goes into their internal matrix, and they don't want to hang out with you anymore?
Well, I guess that would suck. But like, if you wanted to hang out with me in real life, why wouldn't you want to hang out with me in like? I guess like if people are like, dude, in my ideal, I know I hang out with you like every day, but in my ideal life, I wish I never had to see that guy.
Yeah, that's me in your matrix.
Yeah, you're like, dude, I'm not gonna start a podcast in the Matrix, bro.
I don't even have my own thoughts.
Yeah. I am Joe Rogan in my Matrix, dude. Like, why the fuck would I come here? You still have a studio with no toilet in your fake reality. You have the worst Matrix, dude. I'm not.
Pull up to here in a Bugatti in your matrix to do the podcast.
I just think that.
Still no toilet.
I think that is. If I had to guess, I think that is hell. Personally.
What?
I think that hell is not necessarily what we think of when we think of hell, burning in hellfire. I think that hell would be having everything you ever wanted. Because I think there's something about the soul, not getting religious, but just the soul, the spirit, whatever the fuck word you want to use, that needs like I don't know what the word is. Like you need you need the challenge, you need the feedback. There's something that makes you a better person and a more fulfilled person by actually having to achieve these things. Mm-hmm. And so I think it would be a truly miserable experience to exist in a realm where it's everything, all at once. And that you can tell that that's the point in the thought process that
you'd love it.
I think that I would. Okay,
He said you'd never leave it.
here's what I'm worried about, dude. Would you get mad if your girlfriend tapped into a virtual realm and like fuck some other dude and then tap back out? I was like, I didn't fuck him in real life. Fucked him in the virtual realm. It's like, dude, you still had that experience, but I guess it doesn't technically count. But it's like, it still kind of counts. It's still real.
I mean, but in that situation, you'd probably be in the virtual realm banging people too.
Of course.
Yeah, so why the double standard?
But then what's the point of having like it's like, why would, okay, if you're just a single dude and it's like, dude, I'm bored, I'm going to go tap into a realm and just bang Lana Rhodes right now. And then you tap out and you're like, all right, I'm good.
But is that just jerking off at that point, pretty much? Like,
yeah, but you actually are going in there and just like you actually had sex with Lana Rhodes.
But is it actually
Virtually.
her? No, it's like a thought of her.
Yeah, but it's just as real because you're in there. You're fucking doing it. You know, you're doing
Yeah.
it. You have the full experience. And then like you're laying next to her and she's like talking about shit and you're like, I'm out of here.
Boring. Skip,
Yeah,
skip.
And then you tap back out and you tap back in and then it's like you can do whatever you want. It's like, why would you ever bother going out talking to girls? Why would you do that? There's got to like the second that you can have anything you want at your heart's desire, like what is even the point of going back into the real world and having to try? Like why am I going to go out to Fells Point and get shut down by 7 girls? Not that I try to talk to 7 girls a night, but if you're the type of guy who does, why would you do that if you could just not go out at all?
I mean, isn't there that like caveman mentality still though of like wanting to somehow live forever, therefore like just creating another you with someone?
Yeah. Like the drive to reproduce.
Yeah.
But like I don't think most people are thinking of that when they're having sex. Like I think
Oh no.
that's like nature's trick. They're like, dude, we're going to make you really want to bang. And the
Make it
reason
feel
for
good.
that, yeah, we're going to make it feel awesome. And we're going to make it occupy 98% of your headspace on a day-to-day basis because the ultimate goal of life is to reproduce. But then human beings fucking do what we do best, which is trick nature, you know? And then it's like nature. It's like, dude, nature's like, dude, it's fucking hot. You have to do shit. And then humans are like, no, it's not, dude. I got air conditioning. Now your heat doesn't matter to me, dude. You know? Like, oh, it's raining. I got a house. You know, you're just bypassing nature. Nature's throwing up. Nature's like, we want you to reproduce because that's what nature does. Every species has a drive to reproduce. And then you're like, all right, so this is what I got to do. But like that urge, like, I think you're probably only going to, out of all the times that you come and have sex in your life, maybe 0.0000001% of that, maybe even less, is to have a child.
True.
Every time you go on a Pornhub,
Yeah, you're not trying to have a child when you're beating off.
and if you are, you're beating up the
doing
wrong,
it
you're barking
wrong.
up the wrong tree, dude. It's not how you do it. But like, I think that like, yeah, there's probably a lot of people that are like, dude, in your virtual world, you could have the best family ever. The perfect wife. The perfect son. You know? I'm just
Yeah.
saying you gotta.
I mean, I guess it depends on like how actually like if it actually triggers like the same brain chemistry or whatever. Like if you're actually getting like fulfillment from it. Like if you're, because I don't know if it would be the same if it was just like, I mean, I don't know. In the beginning, I thought you meant like everyone was tagging into the same fucking reality, and then like everyone could just be together. But you're talking about being like alone in a simulation, which like I feel like I don't know if that would be as fulfilling as if it would like other people were there too.
Yeah. Well, okay. When you're talking about the brain chemistry, it's like they already show that like getting a like on Instagram or like getting a like on Facebook.
Yeah. And like
Triggers,
video
like,
games do shit to
Yeah.
you. Like you can get like fucking adrenaline rushes and shit from that. for
Like you
sure.
go into the fucking thing and like you get the same rush that you would get from having like a real life interaction with somebody from a fucking notification on your phone. And so now what happens? People become less social than we were 100 years ago. You know, people are less likely to say hi to each other walking down the street because it's like the need to be social has been kind of quelled by this constant influx of validation and like this chemical like response that you get from interacting virtually, you know? So like you can definitely trigger, just like we were saying before about wet dreams, you can have sex in your dream and real life come. That's a thing. You know?
I wish I could do it.
I wish I could do that too.
That'd be sick.
Which is why I'm banking on this virtual reality, dude. But I guess my point is like, I know it sounds far-fetched, but also like, I feel like if we were to describe this to somebody 3,000 years ago, they'd be like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
You mean I can just talk to the guy in fucking Asia, right? I can what the guy in China and talk to him? I can call him? How? How do
Call
you
him
do
what?
that? Call him what? What are you talking
What
about,
do you
dude?
mean call?
I never even heard of China. But like that's what I'm getting at, is, dude. So like this is another tangent that really has no moral, but it's just a thought experiment that I was doing. Is like I could easily see people gravitating toward that, and then just like, and that's like the whole like life is a simulation shit. That theory, which I don't necessarily, believe, but like, what would be the difference if we all went into a matrix where everybody was there and all interconnected? That would just be life. Because like you'd be in that matrix competing with other people's, like everybody's in the same.
But like you wouldn't necessarily have to do that shit. You could choose to do that shit, but you could probably do a bunch of other crazy shit. Like you and like me and you could just be like, oh yo, you want to go fucking like try to like rob a bank or something with no consequences? Oh, perfect. Let me just fucking, I don't know, do some crazy shit. Like we could just do crazy shit.
Yeah, but then like after you and I hit you up and I'm like, yo, you want to tap in the matrix and like rob a bank today? And you're like, hell yeah. And then you do it and you come back and you've been robbing a bank for like 4 hours and you're like, dude, we almost made it, dude. We almost made it. We got fucking capped the last second. We almost had him. It's like you come back and you're like, all right, now what? You want to do we just robbed a bank in virtual reality, dude. And now what do you want to do? Fucking hang out? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't fucking know. It's just like I'm saying, if everybody was in the same thing, then there would be like other things. Because it's like, dude, like I want to buy that building. But then there's other guy that's also in that same matrix who's like, no, dude, I want to buy that building. I don't want that shit. I'm talking about going to my own matrix where I'm the only one. And I'm like, dude, I'm getting that building. Everybody else in my matrix is like, all right, dude, I don't know anybody else who would want that building. It's $0. It's yours. You already own it. I'm just saying that these are things that I think could happen. I truly believe that virtual digital technology is going to get to the point where it's going to outcompete regular life for a lot of people. Truly believe that. We're already watching it happen. We are already watching it happen, dude. Every time I'm sitting in a fucking circle of people and everyone's just like, okay, half the time when I'm sitting at my house, laying on my couch, watching TV, I'll zoom out and I'll look at myself like astral projection. Not really, but metaphorically, I'll zoom out and I'll stand in the middle of my living room and stare at myself on the couch and just subtract the TV from the situation. Just subtract the TV.
Yeah.
And what do you have? A guy laying down, staring at a wall for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe occasionally getting up to eat. I'll be sitting in a social circle and like the conversation will come to a halt and you look around and every single person's just looking on their phone. And then I'd be like, wow, zoom out, subtract the phone, and now you just have a group of people standing in a circle in silence, staring at the ground.
Yeah.
For like
but also
2 minutes at a time.
There's like ebbs and flows in conversations, and like sometimes they don't need to keep going on. Everyone could use a nice little break, take a little quick check at their phone.
But what did they do before phones? Like what happened when a topic was spent and then they were like, you would just sit there.
That's where like small talk would come in.
Which
You'd
sucks.
like break off into groups and be like, yeah, the fucking weather tonight. Nice. Very breathable air.
I can breathe.
I can finally breathe.
That is small talk, dude. When you're talking about breathing.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for stuff to talk about.
Anything.
You're like, dude,
What do we have in common?
Blinking.
Both breathe.
Breathing. You like air too? That's sick, dude. I don't know, dude. Okay, maybe I'm overreacting about all this shit, but whatever.
I think you're overreacting because then also like you're just gonna end up doing that one day and not notice it, but everyone else will and be like, "Wow, dude, you're calling people out for this."
Nah, dude, I'm not gonna become the fucking off your phones guy.
You better not.
I'm not gonna be that guy, dude. Because sometimes I'm on my phone. I'm not gonna become the fucking like, guys, Earth to Eric. I'm right here, dude. Like, come on, dude. Nobody wants that guy.
My eyes are up here, dude. Not on Instagram. Not on Facebook. Here.
Here. Of course I'm not gonna become that guy, dude. But that's like, nobody wants to be that guy. Nobody wants to be that guy.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
You know? But like, you can't help but notice that large portions of our life have been replaced by virtual insanity, futures made up. That's what that song's about, dude.
Called it.
Jamiroquai.
Jamiroquai it.
Oh man. Yeah, that's we'll bring that topic up another
We'll
4
bring it
months from
back.
now and well I'm
You'll
sure
watch a video. I'll watch a video.
we'll come
It's
back.
bound to happen.
Be like, all right, we're getting closer to the answer. Other than that, did I tell you? Stop me if I told you this story already. But I was hanging out in the harbor between gigs. Did I tell you about the homeless guy
Which one?
that shit himself?
Oh, I think so.
I did. I told that story on the podcast.
Potentially. Or you might. I don't know. Tell it again. Let me hear a
Okay.
little bit more.
Okay. So I'm chilling at the harbor between gigs. I can't tell the story if I feel like I already told it. So stop me as soon as you think you
Okay,
recognize it. And there's this fucking... I don't even want to tell a story anymore, dude.
All right, don't tell it.
I
anymore.
can't tell a story, dude. That's why I can never do stand-up comedy. I can't physically tell a story if I feel like you've heard it. It's literally impossible for me.
I mean, but also I feel like you should tell it now, just because you're like blue ballsing anyone who's listening.
All right. I'll tell a story. So I'm hanging out in the harbor between gigs. I had 2 gigs. Oh, and this works into a story I haven't told all the way.
Perfect.
So I'll tell this first. Work your way in.
Set the stage.
Set the stage. I'm on the boat, right? We get back from my last gig. This actually happened after the other story, but who cares? Doesn't matter. And everyone on the boat's like, oh, dude, great job, like playing and whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now the setup for this cruise ship is like, I have to park like literally like 2 blocks away in this parking garage, which no longer validates. It's like $30 to park there. It sucks. They used to give you a card that made it like $8. I was like, okay, this is cool. So I'm playing 2 cruises, one at 10 in the morning, one at 3. And in the middle of my break time, I called up Mehedi and I was like, dude, because he lives like right there. And I was like, dude, you want to hang out? Because I'm just like chilling in the harbor. I'm parked in a garage where it's like going to cost me $28 to leave. So if I leave and then come back, it's going to be $56.
Yeah.
So
fuck
like
that.
I'm not going home between breaks. And also it's like I have to play again in 2 hours. So I'd literally get home, chill for an hour, and then drive back. It's like not worth it.
Yeah, not worth it at all.
So he's like, hey, Jimmy, I'm doing work. And I'm like, God damn it, dude. So I'm like, all right, fine. So did I tell you about how I walked to Fed Hill and took a shit at Watershed?
No.
Oh, dude, I guess I didn't tell you this story. All right. I
Or
think
if you did, I don't remember.
Okay,
I don't
so-
remember that key detail.
key detail. I walk into Fed Hill alone. It's hot. Wearing sunglasses and stuff on
Yeah,
my break.
middle of the day.
Middle of the day. Sunday. It's Father's Day. Walk up to Be More Licks, and I'm trying to order this ice cream. Now, again, I understand I'm getting older, and I'm probably becoming Tony Selesky. I understand that. And so I recognize that in myself, and I try to push down my Tony Selesky thoughts. But I'm standing in line at this fucking place, and it's like, again, I'm never going to be that guy. I'm never going to be the get off your phones guy. I'm never going to be the like, excuse me guy. Never. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to notice it and think about it.
And try to get someone else to say.
Yeah. It's fucked. Don't you feel like you should say something about this, dude?
Like, yeah, it's really fucked up. Just keep saying that until someone's like, yeah, man, what's fucked up? You know how they just fucking...
Haven't even really specified yet, but
I haven't been waited on yet. I don't think that's outrageous.
I'm standing in line, and there's just like, you walk over, there's nobody in the window. Everybody's in the back doing things. Now, they're fucking kids. They're like 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it's like, This is basic shit to me. And I learned this from working in the service industry. Here was a priority. The person at the counter, the person on the phone, and the orders.
Yeah.
So if somebody's standing at the counter, you tell the person, you pick up the phone if it's ringing, you say, can you please hold? You take care of the person at the counter. Then you take care of the person on the phone. And then and only then, when there's no customers that need attention, you go and take care of the things you need to take care of. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm standing at the counter for like 8 minutes. Just watching some kid try to figure out
Pre
whipped
or
cream.
post shit?
This is pre.
Okay.
So even then, I'm even beyond that.
You're stewing.
I'm stewing. I'm at Be More Licks. I'm like, I'm going to get a nice ice cream, you know? So, and I've never been to Be More Licks before.
It's not bad.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
They got snow cones there.
Dude, I got a banana pudding ice cream and mint chocolate chip. It was fucking awesome with whipped cream, and they have whipped cream. Insomnia Cookie doesn't have whipped cream. So shouts out to Insomnia Cookie. Definitely consider that. But Be More Licks does. So I'm at the counter, and nobody's coming up to me, and I'm just like standing there. I'm like, you know, if I was that kid, I would be having an anxiety attack about the fact that there's like a line here and that he's just not acknowledging them at all. Like, and when I say acknowledge, I don't even mean I don't even, which it's a fucking ice cream shop, dude. Just ask me what I want, write it down and say it's going to be 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Even that. I don't mind waiting. I mind standing somewhere and just knowing that the person knows I'm there and just them not feeling any sense of urgency to be like, hey, I see you there. I'll be right there. And I'll be right there. Even that, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing. And I'm like, it's just weird to me that like.
Well, you're sitting there to sit there. You're waiting to then have to wait. Exactly.
It's just weird to me. And again, maybe this is a generational thing, but I don't remember ever being like that. Like I've worked in restaurants. I've done all that shit. I hate when you go to fucking McDonald's and they have a fucking attitude and I'll be like, after they get off the thing and I'm just like I went to McDonald's the other night, they're like, anything else? Anything else? And I'm like, you think somebody would train them to not say anything else? Because it just sounds like they're just like, dude, are you done? Are you done? Is there anything else you need, please? And I'm just like, all right, dude, maybe even like, can I get you anything else? Something like that. It's like, there's no sense of like trying to like provide a good environment. And then they'll be like, well, maybe they just don't want to work at McDonald's at 12 a.m. I'm like, maybe just don't. Maybe just don't. I truly feel that way because I worked at Seasons Pizza at 3 a.m. Did I want to do that? Was I a dick to people? Well, no. Did I want to spend every weekend of my peak college age years working in a pizza shop, serving people that had fun? Did I want to do that? Was I stoked that all my friends were out at the bars while I was working late nights at Seasons half the weekend? No. But did I take it out on the customers? No. Mm-hmm. Because ultimately, why? Because I chose to be there. I chose to be there. So I don't sympathize with that. I don't. And I know that sounds boomerish of me, but I don't. I have no sympathy for that. So, but again, do I say anything? No. I just take it in, jam it down, bottle it up, and hurl it up on the podcast. So
letting the Tony out.
Yeah, letting the Tony out. This is where I fucking go off. So finally, and in the meantime, there's this fucking old guy in the line just pestering. You guys want to hear a joke? And I heard him tell, and it would be cool if he was telling like different jokes to every group, but he was telling the same 2 jokes back to back to every single group of people that came up. No. He was just like a customer waiting for ice cream. I'm like, look, I don't even want to be. Can you just serve this guy? Can you get him his ice cream as soon as possible?
Get him out of here.
Yeah, he's like, want to hear one? Like, what does that mean? Oh, a joke. And then this is his joke. He goes, what's worse than lobsters on your piano? And everybody's like, what? And he's like, crabs on your organ. Oh.
That's a good old man joke.
Great old man joke. But like, I heard it 6 times.
Yeah.
And he never actually came up to me and asked me if I wanted to hear the joke. Probably because he saw me hear it from 3 other people. But I was like, dude, please take my order. Please take my order.
I have to shit.
So, whatever. Finally get my order. Ice cream is awesome. They could have been quicker. I understand they're kids, whatever. But like, that's the time when the manager walks in and goes, hey, guys, you see that? Those people are waiting for service. You need to acknowledge them. You need to let them know that you see them there, that give them an idea of how long they'll be waiting. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Or just go do it. Because what are you doing at an ice cream shop? Like,
Yeah.
You don't need to cook anything.
Yeah,
you
you're
don't
not
need to do like
literally, you could take
anything.
every single person's order, write it down. Vanilla, chocolate, you want peanut? Okay, peanuts. Write it down. And you got every single person in the line's orders, and then you just do them. Bang them out. There's fucking 6 of you.
Yeah.
There's more of you than of us.
Yeah.
I don't see a reason for this. Whatever.
Were
So
people like inside getting ice cream too, or like?
Yeah, there was like 3 people inside and like 3 people outside, but there was like
Okay,
4
okay.
employees.
Okay.
But it's like, dude, if you got 1.5 customers per employee, I feel like that's doable.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's doable. So I get my ice cream. It's very good. And it's melting. I'm walking down Fed Hill. And then I'm like, you know what? It's really hot. And so I was like, I'm going to go into the Cross Street Market where Watershed is. I played there a couple times. I know that Atlas restaurants have individual bathrooms. You walk in, you close the door. I was like, I'm going to just go there and take a shit. And then I'm just going to chill there
True.
for an hour. So I walked into Watershed, recognized one of the servers. Hey, straight past him, went to the bathroom, took a shit, sat there an hour, just chilling
Chilling, hell yeah.
on the toilet, air conditioning.
Oh, you just chilled out in the bathroom for an hour?
I'm
I thought you meant you like went to the bar.
No, dude.
Holy
no,
shit.
I just
hell
chilled in
yeah.
the bathroom.
Hell yeah.
I was like, why don't you find this weirder?
Hell yeah.
You were just like, yeah. Walked in the bathroom.
You were
chilled.
like, all right, you went to the bathroom, then you went to the bar, chilled there for an hour.
Nah, dude.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's so sick, actually.
So I walk out like 45 minutes later, and I go
Like, hey,
back.
Jimmy, where were you?
And I leave Cross Street Market. I finished my Gatorade Zero that I picked up on the way there. And I go back to chill in the middle of the harbor. I'm watching the families play and the little fucking water things that shoot out, and all the dogs are playing. It's fun. And then there's like these homeless people sitting on all the benches that have shade.
Using the public bidet.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my god.
And so they're literally just like chilling there, like smoking. And like there's one like very like cracked out looking like middle-aged woman, like typical like meth look or whatever, just no teeth and just talking about random shit. Just like, yeah, she said she was going to stab me. And I said, no, no. So I got out of the car and I was like, oh, geez. And then this other guy was just like leaning on the bench. I guess it was like her boyfriend or something. And he was just like leaned back on the bench like this. And he was just kind of nodding along. And there was like this black guy that was also homeless, I'm assuming. And he was like the main guy. So he was like telling a whole bunch of stories. He's like, man, I remember we were chilling at the World Trade Center in Baltimore.
We're
And
chilling about a block that way.
yeah, I remember about 2 years ago. Y'all remember that earthquake? Yeah, 2 years ago, I'm sitting with Marvin. You know Marvin. They're like, oh, the one who hangs over there? Yeah, Marvin. We were sitting on the bench outside the World Trade Center. And that earthquake happened. And I said, Marvin, what the hell was that? He was like, I didn't do that. And then blah, blah, blah. And then the white guy was like, the white guy leaning back, this old white guy was like, yeah, that's because they flew them goddamn planes into it. And he was like, nah, man, that's the one in New York. I'm talking about the one in Baltimore. And then he's like, that's the World Trade Center, right? He's like, nah, man, the one in Baltimore, that's just the Trade Center. You're thinking of the World Trade Center. I was like, no, I don't know. I don't know if I know enough to know how stupid this is, but this is
It
crazy.
is the World Trade Center.
Yeah,
in
I was like,
Baltimore.
I just wanted to like interject in that conversation. Be like, excuse me, some of us just chilled in a Watershed bathroom for an hour. Maybe if you got your shit together, you know that they have individual bathrooms. Just a stuck-up, mildly less homeless guy, me. I also have nowhere to go.
I
So
guess you could have chilled in your car, maybe.
maybe, but I don't know, whatever. So
A bathroom's much nicer.
I can't shit in my car, dude.
That's some shit that I'd probably do though.
Yeah.
I respect it.
So the homeless guy's holding court and talking and blah, 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 blah. And all the homeless people are talking, smoking, sharing a cig and sharing a fucking twisted tea. I'm like, that's, and then taking up the shade. I'm sitting in the fucking sun roasting. I'm like, damn, I wish I could sit over there.
I wish I was
then-
cool enough to sit over there.
Yeah, I know. And so then one of the white guy, the guy who thought 9/11 happened in the harbor was like, oh, all right. And he just stands up, and then something like falls out of his pocket. So I thought.
Oh, no.
And so, and it was like brownish. And he just stands up and walks over to a bench on the other side of the park where more shade is. And like when the thing falls out of the pocket, the other homeless people just look at it like, they just kind of looked at it like, oh, and just kept talking, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah,
And
we've
so,
been there.
yeah. So I'm sitting there looking at it, and I take off, I do one of these. I like take my sunglasses down. I'm like I'm fucking a detective or like a creep at the beach looking at girls walk by, aka me.
Scoping out the homeless people.
Yeah. I'm like, what? And I look, I'm like, it's definitely brown. And then, but I sit at my bench for like another 30 minutes chilling. And then right before, and I watch this homeless guy, the guy who dropped the thing out of his pants, walk over to the bench
Pants.
and just pull a blanket out of his satchel, lay down on the bench. He's like doing some stuff, because at first I was like, he shit himself. So now he's going to walk away and clean himself up. But then he walks over to the bench about 4 benches over, sits down, and he's doing some janky stuff with his pants, like kind of like, oh no, is he about to clean himself up in the middle of everybody? Like he's about to take his pants off and like wipe his ass and like change. And then he didn't. He just kind of did some janky stuff with his pants and then got his blanket out and laid down and went to sleep. So I'm like, okay, I guess he didn't shit himself. So I had written that off. I'm like, okay, I guess that wasn't what it was. But just to check before I go back on the boat, I'm going to just casually stroll past the canoodle of homeless people, take a look at the ground. So I walk past this group of people and I look down, and sure enough, there's flies all over it. Ooh. And here's the thing. They were just talking around this piece of shit. Like nothing happened. Like nothing happened, dude. It was like, even if he dropped a phone, somebody would have said something. Like it was like a leaf fell out of his sock. And they were just like, okay, that's a leaf. You don't need that. He doesn't need that. They're just holding court, just doing whatever. Flies around. I'm like, oh no. I just witnessed the only thing worse than watching a homeless man shit himself, walk over to a bench, and then proceed to clean himself up in public is watching a homeless man shit himself, walk over to a bench, not give a fuck,
Just
and then
sleep in the
take a
rest of it.
2-hour nap.
Jesus Christ.
And then dude, it boggled my fucking mind. I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
horrible.
how high do you have to be?
Yeah, what's like the benefits, or like what's worth going through this? I don't know.
And then I guess the other ones, when I come back off the second cruise, I'm walking to the garage and I see he's still sleeping there. And now like the other two are just like next to him sleeping. And I'm like, dude, you have to know he just shot himself. 2 hours ago. He's just been festering in 90-degree heat with fucking diarrhea shit all in his pants, taking a fucking slumber, dude.
What the fuck did it come out of his pocket?
Because, dude, it didn't. It came out of his fucking. I guess I thought it came out of his pocket, dude. It came out of his. If it came out of his pocket, if he shit out of his
Trying
pocket,
to imagine how it came out of his pocket.
I just couldn't fathom it, dude. I didn't want to believe it, but it was true. It was true. I'm gathering I haven't told this story.
No,
Thank
I
God.
don't remember this.
So that was like, I just had this thought of like, wow, man, like that is next level, like addiction, right? Or like drug problem or something. Like that is crazy. Like,
yeah, that's hardcore.
if I ever wanted to show my kids, don't fucking do that shit, that would be it. I mean, like, he had like tattoos, he had like a ponytail. You could tell maybe at some point in his life he was probably like cool. Mm-hmm. And now he's shitting himself in the middle of the harbor and taking a nap in it. Jeez. And it's like, dude, I mean, and the fucking black guy, I don't even know why he was homeless. I feel like I understood why the other two were homeless. I was like, you guys don't appear to be people that could go and get a job. You look like you're too far gone. You need help. If you walked in with shitty pants to any bar, like they say, like, if you're homeless, just go get a fucking job. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that guy's not getting a job. But the black guy, dude, he was actually kind of funny. He was like, I was like, dude, you could easily do it. Like, you kind of have a sense of humor. You know how to tell a story.
Yeah, you know how to like talk to people.
Like, you can't tell me that you can't walk into fucking Ripley's Believe It or Not next door and fucking be like the janitor or something. Like I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, if you
know?
can just like hold a conversation, you could literally you can go really far in the world.
Exactly.
You don't even need qualifications. If you can just like talk to people and fucking like have that as your skill, you're golden. Talk your way into anything.
And he was telling stories. I mean, I listened to them talk for 30 minutes. I know a lot about them. And he had been homeless for like, it sounded like he was telling stories of being homeless for like 10 years ago. I'm like, dude, after 10 years, perfectly
What's your skin routine?
perfectly good head on your shoulders that I can tell, like good enough to have a job. You're not like mentally ill that I can tell. I was like, at that point, is it safe to say that like, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah,
And maybe he likes being homeless. I don't fucking know. But like, I couldn't fathom how he was doing that. I guess it's like one of those things. Whatever, who cares? But the other two, I was like, damn. But like that stuck with me. And so I walk back to the ship and I'm loading out my stuff. And it's like this very strange loadout because I have to carry all my equipment up 2 flights of like ship stairs, like very winding. I gotta like spread myself thin and like take it up to the top deck. It's very painstaking.
Yeah.
And then they have this little ramp that's like the size of one person to walk out. So like I have to get all my
get
stuff
off the ship.
Yeah.
Damn.
I have to get all the stuff down to the bottom back deck where I get off. And then I have to like position myself so I can put it on my my hand cart. But I can't leave it out on the harbor because I'm going to leave it on attendance. People are going to fuck with it.
Yeah.
So I have to leave it on the ship. And I'm bringing stuff slowly down. Everybody's already unloaded off the ship. All the staff is like cleaning. All the guests are gone. And I get all my stuff on the handcart and I had it like propped in the fucking like middle of the ramp. And I go up and do one more trip. I come back. Actually, I go in there to thank the boss, the guy who books me. I was like, thank you for having me. Walk back out and the fucking captain's there. And he's like, hey, man, you mind next time you're unloading, you don't leave it right in the middle of everything? Because like we're kind of like blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, dude, sorry. I was literally gone for like 30 seconds. It's kind of a difficult loadout. And, you know, I thought everybody was pretty much gone. And he was like, yeah, well, yeah. And then he just walks away. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Have a nice day. And then he doesn't say anything. Mm-hmm. And then as he's walking out of the room, I was like, you know what? I'll do the same. Kind of a little jab. Like,
oh, no.
Because he didn't say anything. I said, have a nice day. He ignored me blatantly. And I said, I'll do the same. Mm-hmm. And then he just fucking slams the door.
Oh, my God.
I think that's warranted. I can't say that.
I mean, it's okay, I think.
I mean, what am I supposed to do? Because that's disrespect. The other captain, the back captain, they have like the head captain, the stern captain who watches the back, because obviously got to tell him like what's... I was talking to that guy. It was an older black guy. He was asking about my guitar. He was like, man, that guitar, blah, blah, blah. How's that guitar working for you? And when the other captain walks away, I look at the black guy captain and I'm like, I was like, and he was like, I don't know what his deal is. And I was like, yeah, dude, that guy's a fucking dick. But like, I went over so many situations in my head, like what I should have said, you know? I could have said a couple things that could have ended my job there.
Yeah.
I could have said, you know what? And just a point
That's
of reference.
What I'm saying. I think you were fine in what you said because it wasn't anything crazy.
But it was calling to attention the fact that he was being rude in a very like undercutting way. Like I was like, I'm going to at least acknowledge the fact that I resolved this conflict, which shouldn't have been a conflict. It's the first time I played here in 2 years. I didn't know I was in anybody's way. You could have just said, hey man, next time, just letting you know, we're kind of having people back and forth. So just when you're loading out, just keep it off to the side. Perfectly doable.
Yeah.
And when he said that to me, I kind of wish I was like, and just advice for you next time, maybe you could like not be such a fucking dick about it. Or maybe less than that. Or maybe you could find a more polite way to say that. That's not that even if I said that, if I was just like, and just some advice for you, maybe you could find a more polite way to ask me that next time. That's respectful and it's also real. But I didn't say that. But I wish I did. All I did say was what I told you I said. And even that was like, did it get the point across? Because like, I don't like being talked that way by another fucking dude. I don't like that. It's like, I don't work for you and I've been at this all day just like you. And like, I understand I might have made a mistake, but there are ways that you can approach me that don't disrespect me.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm walking around like, you better fucking respect me. It's like, dude, just treat me with some decency. Like, be polite.
They could have just came up and said like, hey, like, is this your gear? Hey, like, there's a lot of traffic coming through here. If you're going to leave it, next time just put it on the side or put it out of the way or whatever. That could have been the easiest route. Like, I understand that he was a fucking dick, and like, you know, you don't want to like try to be nice to a dick because he's not gonna fucking give you respect or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't know. It's like everything. Like the moment someone gets power, it'll fucking corrupt you.
Yeah, I run into those situations every now and then, and it always befuddles me that people can walk around with that attitude, that they can put that kind of negativity out into the world. And as I was walking away, it bothered me for like the next 2 hours. I was like driving home, just like fucking dick, like blah blah blah. And then I was like, you know what? I just had to like not think about it, you know, because like he put that negativity out in the world, and now I'm carrying it.
Yeah.
And I don't need to carry that, because what happens is now that puts me in a worse mood where I might inadvertently come off and put that negativity on someone else. So, you know, it was like the chain has to stop at me. So I have to let it go until 2 weeks later when I rant about it. But like, that's fine. But it's like, it just like, there's another place I play for where like they always want me to plug into their system through their board, but my board is much better. And it makes us sound better, and I know all the controls for our board, and they don't, like, they just have 2 cords that dangle from the wall that I can easily plug into my board, but then, like, the owner's like, no, you got to plug it into this board. And it's, like, the cheapest fucking board you can buy, and it, like, doesn't make us sound good, and it, like, doesn't do as good of a job in, like, redirecting to certain speakers and things. Like, I can do a whole bunch of shit with mine, and he just, out of the fact that it's his board and his bar, he just won't let me do it.
Yeah.
So what I would do after a while is one day he was like, Jimmy, this is not a discussion. You're going to blah, 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 do this. And I was like, okay. So then I plug it into his board. And then halfway through the set, we have the whole fucking place packed to come out and see us, the band. And I just fucking, during my break, unplugged it, plugged it into my board, did it my way. At the end of the night, he noticed it. Didn't say anything. Next time we play there, he texts me, bring your own sound system. So they have a full sound system wired up, and then he's going to make me lug in my fucking speakers and shit just because I wanted to plug his sound system into my mixing board. And that was like a fucking like a power struggle for him, which annoys me because it's like, you book us consistently because we bring people out, and like, you know, I've been in here other nights. It's not like when we played there, when we were doing our like monthly thing, and like, you should, I feel like it's like kind of just like a, like kind of like a dick swinging move to be like, no, you have to do it my way.
Yeah, it's not like that crazy of a thing.
It's
not
for
a crazy ask.
Yeah, if anybody's having trouble understanding the mixing board analogy, imagine like if you showed up to a place and they had a shitty, you were doing comedy and they had this really shitty microphone that sucked, and like it just makes your voice sound stupid and it's really poppy and but you have a really nice microphone, and so you're like, dude, I'll just plug in my microphone to the cord. I'll just unplug it in and it sounds great.
Yeah.
And they go, no, you got to use our microphone. Why, dude? It sounds like shit. And like, you booked me to come here, and what you don't understand is that aside from the fact that I'm playing at your bar and you're paying me, this also has to do with my business and the type of product that I want to put out. And so if you're asking me to play at your bar and compromise my product, then I don't want to play at your bar. I want to play at your bar in that you agree to have my band come through and do what we do and sound good. And you enjoy the fact that we bring people out. You enjoy the fact that we sound good, but you don't enjoy the fact that there's a certain way that we want to do it that does not compromise you in any way. In fact, it makes you have less work. I'm asking you to do less work because we will take care of it, you know? Yeah. And it's like, you want us to come out, and I don't want people coming out to see us and be like, yeah, they were good, but they kind of like, I don't know, I feel like the vocals should have been louder, or I don't want that, you know? And it's like, I don't know, they don't fucking get it, but whatever. Now I'm just fucking venting. Sorry.
Yeah, it's good. I gotta take a real bad piss. Yeah, you want to take a break, or you want to wrap up?
We can wrap up unless you have anything you want to.
I don't think so.
Cool.
I mean, all we really did was the beach shit. Or at least that's all I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess other than that, I just had a studio session last night. It was fucking awesome. So not much to talk about there, but it was cool. We got some new stuff coming out probably in August. We got a song coming at you in August. Just did the vocals for that last night. Took fucking 5 hours, but it was worth it. So shouts out Sean Mercer. Shouts out Magpie Studio.
Hell yeah.
Shouts out Sophomore MD. Follow us on Instagram. Now with captions and comments, baby.
Ooh.
Also, I can now caption and comment on my personal Instagram too.
Big news.
But I can't put a website link in. The only way that I was able to get it back was by deleting the website link in my bio.
Oh, weird.
So now I gotta
Did they tell you that? Or did you
No,
figure
they just
that
gave
out
me a bunch of
yourself?
tricks. They were like, I was searched all over line. They were like, you got to change your password. You got to link it to Facebook. You got to turn on two-factor authentication, or whatever, and then maybe try fucking with your bio. And so I did all those things, and then I got all my privileges back except being able to put a link in my bio, which sucks because now it's like we promote a song and it's like, link in bio, psych, Google us. I don't know.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that's weird.
So we'll figure that out, hopefully, before the release.
Okay, well, that sounds good.
Any plugs for you, dude?
Fuck no. Listen to Live from the fucking studio, bitch.
No shows, dude?
I don't know. I think I do, but I don't want to look it up right now.
I hear you. Guys, I'll be at Valley Inn tonight if you're listening. Friday. I usually do first Fridays there, but it's the 4th of July weekend, so we push it up to this week. Friday, July 9th, Valley Inn, 5:30 to 9:30. I have a private event on Saturday, which I'm not going to plug because obviously you can't fucking come there. It's down in Severna Park. But the guy's name is Mario something. And so I've been calling it my calendar Mario Party, which I like. That's good. And then I'll be at Lock Bar on Sunday, 7 to 11, solo dolo, baby.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. At Jimmy Selesky across the board, at Eric Glazer across the board. Follow the band at Sophomore MD, and of course follow us on everything at LFTS. I kind of stumbled on L.
Yeah.
LFTS podcast, baby. If you see the bracket out in Ocean City at Fishtails, take a picture of yourself with it, tag us in it, post it to your story. We'd love to see that. Same thing goes for Backyard, Uptown, and Towson. Baltimore bar bracket winner. Do that as well. It would make us feel very great and very groovy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, check us out on YouTube as well, guys. Till next week.
Peace.
Peace.